Season premiere August 4th, streaming on Hulu.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway. Because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Sammy Sabolka with what's trending now. Presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. It was more of the same from the Arizona Diamondbacks yesterday. Minimal offensive output that led to a 12-2 loss in Detroit yesterday. Brandon Pfaadt got touched up for 7 earned runs in the loss, but not a lot of time to think about it. The Snakes and Tigers' first pitch from Detroit will be at 10:10 this morning, and you can hear it on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. As Cardinals training camp rolls on, Marvin Harrison Jr. joined Wolf and Luke yesterday and had this to say on him being the ultimate team first guy.
Football's the ultimate team sport. I think growing up, seeing, obviously my dad play football, and I understand how much a team really, matters to. Not one individual couldn't make the whole offense go or make the defense go or have individual success. So I'm very aware of that. I think that's always been that way.
The Cardinals continue at camp today with 1 week, with a little over a month away from week 1. This report is brought to you by Parker & Sons. Parker & Sons is there for your air conditioning needs. Beat the heat with their same-day service and never pay extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. Be sure you call Parker.
Good morning. Time to get up and go to work.
The power-packed morning zoo. Are you kidding me?
Fire.
It's the greatest radio show ever.
Good morning and welcome.
Dan Bickley,
Oh, I've read all his books. He's brilliant. I had no idea he was so handsome.
Vince Marotta,
Vinny.
Jared Carlin,
Jarrett gets the white and the yellow flag, and Jarrett is going to win the Daytona 500.
and Sammy Sabolka.
Holy cow, Sammy! Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bickley and Marotta mornings.
Shout out to Dan Bickley, my boy, him and Mr. Vince. Okay.
Time to go to work. Time to go to work.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday, Valley sports fans. We're halfway there, folks, through another busy week in Arizona sports. The trade deadline is approaching. Our baseball team is in shambles.
That's a good way to put it.
Oh, yeah.
And we get the benefit today of the rare Bickley and Marotta morning short show.
We never get the short shows the way that Burns and Gambo, though, do.
Those guys get short shows every week.
I know.
It's unfair. The work
Deserves got nothing to do with it,
the
Vinny.
work differential, the lifting that we do.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
I was joking before the show today. It's a shame the Diamondbacks can't play the rest of their games this year in the Eastern time zone.
Yeah.
At least get them out of the way early in the day.
Yeah. But I retorted to that by saying that the way things are going, we're going to get to a point where it won't even matter. No one will even care what they do. That's how bad and how fast things have gotten bad.
I think some people have reached that point
No.
already.
Yeah, listen, I know you're at peak frustration with a lot of things. Like,
how can you tell all the text messages I was sending you during the game?
Well, listen, generally when you bring in a position player to pitch at the end of a blowout, you do it to take the edge off the game. You do it to kind of turn a real bad deal into a laughing matter, right? Jose Herrera's ERA is the lowest of any Diamondbacks pitcher in the box score.
I think, I wonder if Torrey mentioned after the game if he's available today out of the pen.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. So what else going on? Anything? Sammy, Bailey, Vinny?
I got, with the early game, I was Mr. Responsible yesterday. I was in bed by like 7:45 last night. It was glorious.
I was going to bring up a story, but I knew you wouldn't vibe on it. At the PGA Canada, there's a golfer who is using an 18-inch putter.
Saw that.
I know Sammy did.
An 18-inch putter?
You know so he literally has to sort of bend his body over
All right.
His legs go way out and he bends all the way down. Same thing on like the tour. There's another dude on PGA Canada or America. He chips with one hand. Lots of weird stuff going on.
All right, so let's focus on the 18-inch putter.
All right.
That's got to be a hey, look at me gimmick, doesn't it? When you learn how to play golf, was that out of necessity?
I don't know.
I was so poor growing up. I couldn't afford a full putter.
Listen, this dude, I'm not aware of this guy, Philippe Ganapé. I'm not familiar with him. But if he's playing with that putter in a PGA event, then he is determined that putter is what works best for him. I couldn't imagine it.
So
some golfers, and Sammy knows this, you use very, very short golf clubs. Like you get fitted for golf clubs. Generally, they'll come up to your belly button. Some guys will get sawed-off shafts that are really short.
Yeah.
Some guys really... Dustin Johnson was like that.
Tony Finau.
But not to the point where it's visually alarming if you're watching them play golf.
That is true.
Like, I mean, an 18-inch putter?
I know, it's ridiculous, man. I'm watching the footage of it right now. It does look...
That's like using an 18-inch baseball bat.
It's weird because he went 3 under on the day and he hit a hole-in-one.
Looks kind of like what flew on the floor at the WNBA game last night. Bailey, start the show.
The Splash. The stories making waves in the sports world. The Splash.
Cannonball coming.
The Splash, brought to you by Presidential Pools, Arizona's #1 pool builder. See why at presidentialpools.com.
I can't let this one go.
I thought you'd like that.
Somebody throws something on the floor at a WNBA game, and everybody wigs out.
Oh, well done.
Nice.
That's very nice.
Wonder what's going to happen tonight in the WNBA. Blowout 12-2 loss in Detroit for the Diamondbacks. They jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Probably should have been more considering they had the bases loaded with 1 out in each of the first 2 innings. Detroit's bats then feasted on Brandon Pfaadt, who gave up a solo home run to Gleyber Torres, a 2-run shot to Riley Green, a 2-run shot to Zach McKinstry, all in the 5th inning. Pfaadt touched up for 7 earned runs on 11 hits in just 4 2/3 innings, the most hits Pfaadt has ever allowed in 72 career starts. D-backs have now lost 4 in a row, 7 of 8. They've scored a grand total of 11 runs in those 8 games. That series wraps up mercifully today at Comerica Park. It'll be Ryan Nelson taking the mound for the Diamondbacks against newly acquired veteran right-hander Chris Paddock for the Tigers, making his Detroit debut. First pitch, 10:10. You can hear it all right here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app, beginning with pregame coverage at 9:30. Gino Suarez was not in the lineup for manager Torey Lovello on Tuesday after getting hit on the right hand by a pitch from Detroit's Will Vest in the 9th inning of Monday's game. X-rays proved negative. It's a bruise. Suarez still could be dealt by Thursday's trade deadline, which hits in about 33 hours at 3 o'clock Arizona time tomorrow. Ken Rosenthal and Chandler Rome, what is up?
What is up?
Of The Athletic
Patty
reported
from Modesto, what is up?
They reported yesterday that the Houston Astros, looking for offensive help, have interest in acquiring D-backs outfielder Jake McCarthy. Doesn't that defy logic if you're looking for offensive help? They're also considering the pursuit of Minnesota Twins infielder Willie Castro and Marlins outfielder Jesus Sanchez. McCarthy has struggled at the plate all season long for Arizona, currently batting .162 after a 1-for-4 performance last night. Arizona Cardinals continued training camp on Tuesday with another padded practice. Defense again highlighted the day's session. According to our own Tyler Drake, head coach Jonathan Gannon, speaking before Tuesday's session, did not appear concerned about the struggling offense from Monday. Quote, "There's a back and forth. It's training camp. Defense makes plays. Offense makes some plays. No session today. Cards are off. They're back at it tomorrow with a practice open to fans at State Farm Stadium in Glendale that starts at 1:50. You can read more about yesterday's Red Reckoning session at arizonasports.com and the Arizona Sports app. In Cincinnati, it appears the defensive end, Trey Hendrickson, is ending his long and much talked about holdout from Bengals camp. According to ESPN's Adam Schefter, Hendrickson set to report to camp today. And according to a source, his arrival serves as a good faith gesture to spur negotiations with the front office.
No. His arrival signals waving a white flag because these non-waivable fines, the Bengals aren't going to cave. They just don't care.
That too. But,
I feel bad for the guy, man.
But you know where Adam Schefter got the information from.
Of course. Yes, of course.
Hendrickson led the league in sacks last year with 17.5. The Bengals resolved their contractual issues with first-round pick Shamar Stewart over the weekend. Since it happened over the weekend, we didn't really get into it.
Yeah.
Wow, they're really getting modernized in Cincinnati, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
And the
maybe they'll stop putting chili in spaghetti soon.
I think it might be good. I've never tried it.
I have. It's the most overrated.
I've heard it's
you'd ever.
I've heard it's atrocious.
It's exactly what you think it would be.
Yeah.
Look, open a can of Chef Boyardee. It's the same thing.
Mercury continuing their road trip tonight in Indianapolis against the Fever. They're coming off the Mercury are a strong road win in D.C. on. What did I even write here? Mercury coming off a strong road win in D.C. over Washington that moved the team record to 16-9. Fever will not have the services of Caitlin Clark. She remains sidelined with a groin injury. Tip-off today at 4 o'clock. You can catch it on Arizona's Family Sports. And tune in. You never know what's going to happen.
No, you really don't. There's a lot of trolling going on at these W games recently, man.
Unfortunately, that is the case. There you go. There is your splash for this Wednesday, July 30th. Coming up, Cardinals training camp continues, and 2 bad days of offense in a row. We'll get into it next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Diamondbacks baseball.
Payoff. Swing and a miss. Alexander down on strikes. And Detroit's taking the first 2 in this series. They win tonight, 12-2.
The MLB trade deadline looms, and we've got the series finale of Diamondbacks at the Tigers this morning at 9:30 on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Hey, it's Vince Murata back to let you know that the summer savings are rolling on at Earnhardt Buick GMC in Mesa, and we are talking huge savings like never before offered at Earnhardt Buick GMC. Like on the all-electric 2024 GMC Sierra Denali EV, you can save up to $21,000 off MSRP or take advantage of 0% APR financing for 60 months upon approved credit. Earnhardt is extending big discounts up to $15,000 off MSRP or 0% APR on their 2025 Sierra 1500 trucks. If you're in the market for an SUV, they've got you there as well. Save up to $5,000 off MSRP on brand new 2026 Buick Encore GX models. Hurry in now to Earnhardt Buick GMC. These offers won't last long. They do require approved credit. See dealer for full details. These offers end August 4th, 2025. They are located right off the 60 at Superstition Springs Boulevard in Mesa, or shop online at EarnhardtBuickGMC.com. Earnhardt Buick GMC, we are professional grade, and that ain't no bull.
The UPS store has high-quality, industry-approved packaging materials, so stop by and get 15% off packing materials and protect it with our Pack and Ship Guarantee. Visit theupsstore.com/guarantee or a location near you for full details.
When you're hurt in an accident, results matter, and Sweet James stands above all the rest. They deliver the best medical care, the most amount of money, and justice to every single injured victim. You're not just another number. You're a real person who deserves the best. Oftentimes, the attorneys at Sweet James represent a second chance at life for many clients. They take that seriously. If you're ever hurt in an accident, call Sweet James at 800-9-MILLION. That's 800-9-MILLION. 800-900-0000 or sweetjames.com. Proud partner of your Phoenix Suns.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hi, I'm James Frabasilio, president of Presidential Pools. Phoenix Children's Hospital holds a very special place in my heart. They truly helped my own kids, and we feel compelled to give back. That's why, now through August 22nd, when you choose Presidential Pools for your new backyard, you'll directly support PCH. We're donating a portion of every pool sold to their incredible mission. If a new pool or backyard upgrade is on your mind, there's no better time to build your dream and be a part of the solution for Arizona's children. Learn more and make an impact at presidentialpools.com.
Will Swartz here, owner of State 48 Home Comfort. Got a quote for a new AC unit? Don't lock it in just yet. We're offering the best value in town, beating estimates by up to 20%. You heard that right, up to 20%. It's simple. Go to submittosave.com, upload your quote, and see how much you can save. That's submit2save.com. Again, that's submit2save.com. Let me help you keep cool, save big, and experience comfort you can count on this summer.
Are you looking for an easy way to get a daily detox? Active Liver is the easy way to get a daily detox to keep you healthy and feeling your best. You can find Active Liver in the vitamin aisle at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
The Red Reckoning. The Red Reckoning. Your exclusive home for Arizona Cardinals football. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. Training camp coverage presented by Bud Light. Bickley and Marotta talk Cardinals training camp now.
Certain plays, yeah, there's back and forth. It's training camp, you know what I mean? So defense makes some plays, offense makes some plays. So he's going to be his worst critic. I'm sure you guys know that, which is good. But it was good back and forth.
Jonathan Gannon, head coach of the Cardinals, yesterday. That was before a second consecutive padded practice. Talking about old school, huh? going padded practices back to back. That doesn't
Jonathan
happen.
Gannon said he wanted more friction in training camp, and that is apparently what he was talking about.
But that was before yesterday's session, so it was not only back to back padded practices, but by all accounts, back to back lackluster offensive performances.
Yeah, especially from Kyler Murray in reading the aggregate reporting on him, some interception issues and not a lot of effective offense being played. Couple things about this. Number one, we know that turnovers were a big deal at the end of last year with Kyler Murray. I believe it was 8 interceptions in his final 7 games. And the turn of play was really damaging because going into the break, the Cardinals were in a great position to make a run at a playoff berth.
And before the break, he had done a great job of not turning the ball over.
Exactly. So I am not going to get nutty about training camp games and stats and mistakes because I firmly believe that practice, you're allowed to make mistakes in practice. And we kind of riffed on this the other day, the idea that some people are presenting stats from training camp practices. It's J.J. Watt even went off on that on social media at the idiocy of that, because this is where you're allowed to make mistakes, where you're allowed to get better.
Well, I don't, not to derail you, but in that rant, J.J. Watt kind of ended his thought with that. It's training camp. You're supposed to make mistakes. And then somebody idiotically responded, "That's why you never won anything in your career."
Oh, of course. Yeah. I don't know what's happened to sports fans, man. I really don't. So I think number 2, if this is a sign that the Cardinals defense is markedly improved from last year and causing a lot of fits for the Cardinals offense, I'm all down with that. I've said this repeatedly. I've seen this dynamic in Chicago growing up. When you get a lopsided football team, there can be some real pitfalls with it. When you get one unit that's way better than the other, it can create a lot of internal resentment and anger and divisiveness. That's the word I'm looking for, inside a locker room. So both units have to carry their weight, if you will. But if we want this Cardinal defense to take a big jump, what we're seeing right now is something that I applaud. That being said, Kyler Murray is in year 7. You would expect him to be able to dominate a practice with a lot of younger players, including rookies. So this is something that bears monitoring because we all want to believe Kyler Murray is going to make that jump this year. We all want to believe that Kyler Murray has got everything he needs to finally get this thing done and finish the season. But there's also a really quality backup in Arizona for the first time in a while. And so this kind of thing, stacking bad practices, is something that, while it's not something you should make a big deal of, it's something I don't think you can ignore either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's always weird in training camp, too. One side struggles, the other side's doing well. On the other side, Josh Sweat spoke to the media for the first time during training camp yesterday as well. He's in his first camp as an Arizona Cardinal. Of course, their big free agent acquisition. His viewpoint of day one in pads from a defensive perspective.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know how day one is. People be going crazy. They lose their mind. All technique out the door is just, let me just go hit somebody. So yeah, that's really what we wanted to see. I mean, but now day two is like, let's hone in and get our minds right and, you know what I'm saying, really execute what we need to do.
Yeah, on the subject of, like, not even statistical overreaction, but just the overreaction to all the storylines in camp. Not only has there been the J.J. Watt story, I don't know if you saw the Nick Wright story. Nick Wright was talking about imploring media to use clearer language in terms of carting off or took a cart off the field. like it just goes to show you how much overreaction happens with everything that occurs in the NFL. Mm-hmm. And I think it's happening in certain cities even more. Phoenix is one of those cities. The baseball team, if they're in the mix, they'll kind of stay in the spotlight. The Diamondbacks conveniently are giving up the spotlight. They want everybody concentrating on the Arizona Cardinals. So the overreaction to day-to-day happenings at training camp is going to happen in cities, and it's happening right now because the baseball team is tapping out.
Well, and because it's football. I mean, you could already see it from a lot of the national shows. All of this stuff. Who's under pressure? Whoa! What's going to happen with? Who's going to lose their job? Who's going to win this job? And there's a pace to this. There's a methodology to this that it didn't used to be covered like this. No. This intensely from day one. But it's sort of what the nature of football has become in this country. So, I do think I'm very bullish on what this football team can accomplish. And for the most part, I'm vibing with the idea that this defense is too much for the offense to handle right now. I'm okay with that because I've seen what that means.
Well, and two, like offenses we've seen in the first couple weeks of the season and just overall in the NFL, it takes a little bit longer for them to get rolling than it does defense and their schemes. That's just the way the NFL works. So hopefully that's kind of the theme when it comes to this defense and Kyler Murray. But to your point, it's like this is year 7 of him coming into, this is the 3rd year in Petzine's offense, right. 2nd year with Marv, 3rd year with Trey, James Conner. Like they should be showing some clicking on all cylinders. Yeah. And they have. I'm not going to overreact their training camp videos like you said, but it's something that you wish you would just see a year 7 quarterback just take control of an offense.
Right. Yeah. That's exactly right.
Not only that, I mean, there was so little turnover on the offense as well. So few new pieces on the offense. There has been a lot of talk about the receiving core. Obviously, Zay Jones has been talked about in the last couple days. Could he be the guy to elevate and take that number 3 wide receiver spot? Here was Jonathan Gannon on what he's seen from Zay Jones so far in camp.
He's launching, he's getting open, he's catching it. He looks good. He looks really good.
How do you feel he can maybe carve out a bigger role?
Yeah, I mean, he can play multiple positions, and he's a big, fast guy. You know what I mean? And he's got really good feel and instincts. He's played a lot of ball. I think he's, just the accumulation of reps with Kyler throughout last year, the spring, the summer, right now, you see it showing up. You know what I mean? So he's doing a good job.
I think you're about to see what we expected to see from Zay Jones last year. He had 8 catches in 11 games. Only got targeted 11 times. But he's also only 30 years old. He's 3 years removed from an 82-catch season. He's also like the NCAA all-time leader in receptions.
Is he really?
The guy catches the football. So that'd be a huge plus for the offense if somebody could step up.
Yeah.
I think you know what you're going to get from Greg Dortch.
Yes.
You're going to get maximum effort. You're going to get some big plays. You're going to get some highlights. But if you can get a more consistent threat at number 3.
You're going to get a great game at the end of the season. You're going to go, why didn't they use him more? That's what you're going to get from Greg Dortch.
You're going to get that too.
No, you're right. Listen, and the fact that TD, Tyler Drake, said that so far in camp, from his vantage point, he thinks Michael Wilson looks noticeably faster, twitchier. That's good.
Absolutely.
And Marvin Harrison Jr. seems to be, coming up with one highlight reel catch per practice. So, yeah, so maybe this wide receiver room isn't as doom and gloom as we all thought at one point in time.
Yep. Last chance to join the Arizona Sports Fantasy Football Frenzy. Text FANTASY to 620-620. Battle your favorite host for bragging rights and the Fantasy Football Championship belt. Spots are filling up, so text FANTASY to 620-620 now.
I got to interrupt you real quick.
Yep.
So what kind of league are we drafting? Do we know what kind of league it is?
We don't know yet. It will probably just be standard fantasy.
Okay.
And we can talk about it later of what standard
Well,
fantasy
when
looks
you
like.
ask what kind of league, what are you hinting at?
No, just what rules? There's different kinds of leagues, right?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's pretty much doing PPR leagues now,
See,
right?
I'm a big half-point PPR. I think full-point PPR
Don't
is
complicate things, Sammy.
Yeah, you're right. All right.
I don't even
keep going.
know what that sentence means, what he just said.
It's instead of a full point per reception, you're getting a half point.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We can dive in later.
Well, my point is,
too many decimals
there's going to be a
involved.
lot of pressure on us. There's a lot of people who have signed up for this.
Oh, I know
Who's under the most pressure?
My brother signed up. He's ready to take names.
So, and we're each drafting our own team, or the show is drafting one team?
we each get a team.
All right.
Yeah, so every show has
Yeah.
a league, and
Right.
we each
Got it.
what are we doing? 12-team leagues?
I think 12 is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm excited about this.
I'm finishing 10th or lower. Text fantasy to 620-620 now. The Arizona Sports Fantasy Football Frenzy presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Don't forget to book your own fantasy football draft party at DraftKings. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT STEP. Coming up next, Diamondbacks. Whew, started out good. Didn't finish very strong in Detroit. We'll get into it in D-Backs Daily next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Cardinals Training Camp 2025. The Red Reckoning. The Red Reckoning. 90 players enter State Farm Stadium at the beginning of camp. Only 53 can earn a spot on the final roster.
Motor and violence.
Training camp coverage presented by Bud Light. The Red Reckoning. On your exclusive home for Arizona Cardinals football. Arizona Sports 98.7. The app. YouTube channel. ArizonaSports.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, folks. Jody Jackson here. My friends at Y-Refi are humbled to be this year's co-presenting sponsor of the Phoenix Children's Hospital Give-a-thon. And at Y-Refi, they understand college didn't turn out how a lot of us hoped. The degree? Check. But the debt and detours, not what anyone planned. That's why Y-Refi helps struggling borrowers refinance private student loans with a plan that actually works. Visit YRefi.com today. That's YREFY.com. Y-Refi is not available in all states.
Today at Burke Simpson, we're helping another client who's seriously injured. We're taking on the insurance company to help that client with their medical bills. We're helping them get access to great doctors and great therapists. And today, we're joining that client on the road to recovery because their better future begins with our help. Help that starts today.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 602-777-7000. 602-777-7000. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
Dan Bickley here for Parker & Sons, and summertime in Arizona means triple-digit temperatures and hours spent indoors, which means now is a great time to get your air conditioning unit tuned up by Parker & Sons, which can prolong the life of your system, save you up to $30 a month on utility bills, and give you the peace of mind you need entering the long, hot summer ahead. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, then REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
At Spark Men's Health, we treat ED differently. Instant, lasting solutions tailored to you. 87% of our patients see results on their very first visit, or it's free. That's the Spark Guarantee. Reignite your confidence, your performance, your life. Book now at sparkmenshealth.com or call 480-550-8579. Again, 480-550-8579.
This weekend at your local Ace Hardware, it's Ace Bucket Days, August 1st through the 3rd. Buy a special Children's Miracle Network Hospitals bucket for just $5. Fill it and get 20% off almost anything you can fit in your bucket. And the best part, your $5 bucket purchase supports Phoenix Children's. That's savings for you and help for kids in need. Ace Bucket Days, this weekend at Ace Hardware.
Ace is a place where the helpful hardware holds.
It's Gatos. And you know, America Roofing isn't just about fixing or replacing your roof. They're here in the community and they're ready to help. America Roofing will be donating a portion of all repairs or all replacements to the kids and the families at Phoenix Children's Hospital this year. When you call America Roofing and they repair or replace your roof, a portion of that is going to the kids at Phoenix Children's. And we're so grateful that America Roofing is part of the Big Give-a-thon this year. Thank you, America Roofing, for helping the kids at Phoenix Children's.
I'm Sammy Sabolka with what's trending now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. As NFL training camps are underway across the country, the Cardinals and newcomer Josh Sweat are really starting to come closer together as a team.
Sure, we all coming together. Yeah, that's the biggest. That message hasn't changed since I left. But it's just connect with each other, and we you know what I'm saying. We all care about each other, and we're going to do it for one another.
Cardinals camp will roll on tomorrow, and for more on training camp, be sure you head to arizonasports.com. With the MLB trade deadline now just a day away, some major chess pieces still remain on this Diamondbacks ball club. Eugenio Suarez, Zach Gallen, and Merrill Kelly, and maybe some others are still on the Diamondbacks for now. But on the diamond, the Snakes continued their struggles against the Tigers last night in a 12-2 loss, and will look to avoid being swept this morning with Ryan Nelson on the mound. First pitch from Detroit will be at 10:10 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. Elsewhere around the valley today, the Phoenix Mercury are in Indiana against the Fever tonight. Tip-off will be at 4 p.m. And the Sun Devils and Kenny Dillingham open their camp today with aspirations of yet another Big 12 title. This report is brought to you by Parker & Sons. Parker & Sons is there for your air conditioning needs. Beat the heat with their same-day service and never pay extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. Be sure you call Parker.
That baby is gone! Arizona Sports, the home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. D-Backs Daily. Brought to you by America Roofing. Save 10% on any repair or replacement with Arizona's largest roofer. Online at AmericaRoofingCo.com.
D-backs continuing their series in Detroit, looking to bust out of the worst team-wide offensive slump in franchise history. And I'm not exaggerating. And it looked good early against the Tigers' all-star right-hander Casey Mize. Corbin Carroll led off with his big league-leading 14th triple. That would bring up Ketel Marte.
Carroll down the line at third, the 2-2. Marte lines it into right field. It'll get down for a base hit. Carroll streaks home to score, and the D-backs finally have a hit with a man in scoring position, and they take a 1-0 lead.
Strike up the band. Mike Farron on the call on the D-backs radio network. 9 pitches into the game, it was a 1-0 lead. Mize would then proceed to walk Perdomo with 1 out, walk Tristan English to load the bases. But Mize recovered, struck out Jake McCarthy, and got Alec Thomas to fly out to center to end the threat. Brandon Pfaadt started for the Diamondbacks, posted a 0 in the first. He stranded Kerry Carpenter at second after a 2-out double. D-backs got right back at it in the second inning. James McCann drew a leadoff walk. With 1 out, Corbin Carroll singled. Ketel Marte reached on a fielder's choice. And an error on Detroit first baseman Spencer Torkelson to load the bases for Geraldo Perdomo.
The 0-2. Perdomo swings and drives it up the alley, right center field. Wenzel Perez over, makes the catch. Tagging and coming home to score is McCann from third. On his way to third is Carroll. It's 2-0 D-backs on the sac fly from Geraldo Perdomo.
Yeah, the RBI for the Arizona shortstop made it 2-0. That would end Mize's night. A.J. Hinch called on Brian Herter, the lefty, to finish up the second, and he did by getting Adrian Del Castillo to fly out to left field. It would stay 2-0 until the fourth. Pfaadt on the mound for Arizona still. Riley Green doubled to lead off. With 1 out, Wenzel Perez singled, sending Green to third. Pfaadt then struck out Zach McKinstry. While facing Dylan Dingler, Perez stole second, which proved to be big as Dingler delivered again.
The 1-2. Swinging a liner into center field. Thomas comes on, can't get there. It's a base hit. 2 runs are going to score on a game-tying 2-strike, 2-out single from Dylan Dingler.
Too early to put Dylan Dingler in the Diamondback Slayer Club? By the way,
Yes, he's one of the guys that joins that club. Anonymous dudes who have their way with the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, loved his work in Boogie Nights, by the way.
It's Dirk Diggler, did he?
Oh, I'm sorry. Tie game. Diamondbacks tried to get aggressive on the base paths in the fifth. Ketel Marte reached on an infield single leading off, then aggressively took second on a Geraldo Perdomo fly out to left. The aggressiveness didn't stop there.
And Marte takes off for third. The throw from Herter to the third baseman, Keith, in time. Ketel thought he had him timed perfectly. That he wasn't paying attention, and he gets gunned down for the second out.
Yeah, then Adrian Del Castillo fouled out to end the inning. Then the wheels fell off, the axles broke, and the chassis caught on fire in the fifth for Brandon Pfaadt. With 1 out, Pfaadt facing Gleyber Torres.
Torres swings to the first pitch and drives it to right, going back on it. It's Carroll. He looks up, and it's gone. I thought when Carroll went back, he was going to have a play, and then all of a sudden, all he saw was his number, and that one shot out of the ballpark to give Detroit the lead.
Yeah, their first lead at 3-2, but the floodgates were just opening. Kerry Carpenter followed with a single. That brought up Green.
And the 0-1. Green hits it in the air to right field and deep, and that one is long gone. Riley Green with a 2-run home run, his 27th of the year. And Detroit with a 3 spot here in the fifth has turned it around. It's 5-2 Tigers.
Torkelson would single later with 2 outs and a runner on first. Pfaadt facing McKinstry.
Perez at second, 2 outs, 5-2 Detroit, bottom of the fifth. The pitch. McKinstry to deep right field, way out of here. It's 7-2 Detroit.
Yeah, Pfaadt out of the game after giving up 3 home runs and a career-high 11 hits. Brandon Garcia came in, but Detroit kept on hitting. Dingler singled again. Garcia plunked Matt Vierling.
Isn't that Vierling?
It is Vierling. Bringing up Andy Ibanez.
See, it's a soft liner over the head of a leaping Marte into right center field, a base hit. Coming home to score from second is Dingler. Vierling goes to third, 8-2 Detroit in the fifth.
Yeah, at that point, 6-run lead. Detroit added 3 more in the sixth, 1 in the eighth to win it 12-2. Second worst loss of the year in terms of run differential. For the D-backs, only a 13-1 shellacking in Cincinnati on June 7th was worse. But, man, this isn't just a team limping to the trade deadline. This is a team that is just limping.
Yeah, listen. And again, this is another one of those games. In fact, this version of the Diamondbacks might be the version that bothers me the absolute most. When they get off to a good start and they look like they've got a spark, and you talked about how Corbin Carroll leadoff triple, Ketel Marte immediately drives them in. They score another run in the second inning. They've got 3 hits on the board, and then they chase the other team's starting pitcher in under 2 innings. And then the opposition brings in some mid-level dude who just proceeds to shut the Diamondbacks down and puts them right to sleep.
The entire complexion of the game changed when Casey Mize left the game.
Yeah.
Casey Mize has struggled. He was an all-star. He's had a good year. His last few starts have been terrible. But he lasts 1 2/3 innings and throws 59 pitches. There was only I think I looked it up. That's the 24th time that's happened this year. 55 or more pitches in less than 2 innings for a starting pitcher. And somehow Detroit won the game.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. They're
Yeah.
4 and teams in that scenario are 4-20.
Exactly. If you run the other team's starter after 1 2/3 and you lose that game by 10 runs, something is really, really wrong.
We don't have any post-game sound, unfortunately, because apparently Major League Baseball starts a meter once the game ends, and they got to get off the air because they can't. I know they're covering the Diamondbacks broadcast. Diamondbacks have the personnel there. They're doing their jobs. It's just the airtime is not afforded. They have to get to having that logo on the screen and playing the same song over and over on a loop.
Have you ever been stuck after a Diamondbacks game and you forget to turn off that TV and that thing plays on a loop and that song gets in your head and drives you insane?
I last about a minute.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I literally am angry at it. Yeah. So it's not ideal. Let me say a couple things about this. Not that long ago, I think Sammy came up with, or maybe Jared came up with a question for us. Who is going to get fired first? And it was Torey Lovello, it was Jordan Ott, and it was Jonathan Gannon. And I think we all said Jordan Ott would be the first one fired. Torey Lovello.
That must have been when I was on vacation.
Okay, Torey Lovello might get fired before Jordan Ott even coaches his first real game.
This stretch of baseball isn't just a team, okay, we're sellers, deciding that we've got a bunch of pending free agents. This is dark enough to consider the entire franchise's direction in the next few years.
Yeah. Yes. When a team just turtles the way this one does, and the manager is sort of guiding this team with the most kiddest of gloves I've ever seen from a manager.
That's a good way to put it. I mean, some of the quotes last night from Torey, we just faded. Quote, I don't know, he was asked how it happened. I don't know that answer, but I'm going to try and figure it out. That's all I do. I spend time trying to figure things out. But I know that group's very hungry. They want to win baseball games. I think they get frustrated. They start to lose a little bit of focus through that frustration. We've all been in there. He had a quote last night, I just need to support them and embrace the small victories. They're down, they're really down, and they're frustrated. This isn't the time for anybody to pile on them and jump off the top rope and pile drive them. I think we've just got to be patient and understand that this is part of the game.
Okay, see, there is just so much wrong with that answer. This isn't part of the game. And again, I think that if you were going to make an argument that a baseball team needs a stern leader, this would be the team that I would offer up as evidence. And look, the way this season is going, the amount of Diamondbacks fans who are fed up with Torey, even if this organization wanted to keep the manager, the public pressure, if this season doesn't turn significantly on a dime, the voices are loud now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think we're yet at the 2/3 point of the season. We're close.
Well, a lot of times managers are judged on their performance when things are the worst.
Are the worst. Yep.
And there was another interesting quote. Steve Gilbert wrote this on dbacks.com, and he covers the team for MLB. And he referenced a quote from Torey from over the weekend before Saturday's game. Quote, all the kicking and screaming that I have done or can do isn't going to do anybody any good anymore. So we're going to turn the page on that and just root for them the best way that I know how, continue to encourage them the best way we know how, and just hope for small victories. If we could score an early run and play downhill baseball, I think that would give us a little bit of a breather. Well, we saw last night, they got that, and they had a chance to really tack on a lot of runs, and they failed to do it. And then they just, in his own words, they faded.
Mm-hmm.
That was almost an unwatchable ball game.
Yes, and I saw a lot of that on social media as well, people echoing that same thing, that this isn't even fun watching this team anymore. They're in a dark place, man. This is about as bad as this season could have gotten.
Yes, the series concludes today. 10-10 first pitch from Detroit with Ryan Nelson on the mound. You can hear it here on Arizona Sports. Coming up next, another big story that's bubbling in Major League Baseball. Doesn't have to do with the trade deadline. It has to do with gambling. Again, another big name dragged into an investigation. We'll get into it next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
You've been listening to D-Backs Daily, brought to you by America Roofing. Save 10% on any repair or replacement with Arizona's largest roofer. Online at americaroofingco.com. Arizona Sports, the home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. Friday afternoons at 2:30 on Arizona Sports. Burns and Gambo talk Diamondbacks baseball with D-Backs manager Torey Lovello. Brought to you by Estrella Jalisco. Don't miss Burns and Gambo with the skipper. 2:30 Friday afternoon. Listen on the Arizona Sports app and 98.7.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here from my friends at QC Kinetics, and for years, professional athletes have been traveling to Europe to benefit from the groundbreaking treatments of regenerative medicine. Kobe Bryant famously did it, Peyton Manning famously did it, and guess what? Those treatments are now available in America. You can find them in our backyard. You can find them at QC Kinetics, the leaders in this exciting new field of non-surgical regeneration. They specialize in these treatments that restore and repair damaged joint tissue with lasting results. And what's amazing about these treatments is that they literally help your body heal itself with no downtime, no drugs, no surgeries, and they're changing the way medicine and medical professionals are looking at joint pain. And I know this because I've done this. When I tore my meniscus 5 years ago, I was not ready to go through the whole deal of surgery and rehab. I opted for regeneration, and it works. So if you've got pain in your knees, shoulders, hip, or back, joint pain that won't go away, you need to check out these new treatments that come with astonishing patient satisfaction reports, including Emmett Smith, who raves about what QC Kinetics has done for him. If you get in for your free consultation before the end of the month of July, you'll also get a free laser treatment. Good incentive to go check out what QC Kinetics can do for you. You can find them in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Peoria, and Chandler. Get on the books by calling 602-837-PAIN, 602-837-PAIN for QC Kinetics.
It isn't just any Ford dealer. It is Tim Hovick, Santan Ford, and they're reimagining affordability. We're talking lease deals for $399 a month and zero down on the brand new 2025 Mustang GT, the Escape, and even Bronco Sport. Just sign and drive with a payment real folks can afford. Tim Hovick, Santan Ford in Gilbert. The summer sale is on. Some restrictions apply, and there's a $649 dock fee. But you got that, man. Affordability is back in style. I am Santan Ford.
Worried your AC won't survive another Arizona summer? Don't sweat it. Collins Comfort Masters has your back. As your local Lennox dealer, they'll pay you up to $2,500 to upgrade your old system with their AC buyback deal. Get a brand new high-efficiency Lennox system and enjoy reliable comfort all summer long. Collins is trusted by the community with over 10,000 five-star reviews. Call Collins Comfort Masters at 480-NO-WORRY or visit collinscomfort.com.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have Leaf Filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Hey, it's Luke. Could the Diamondbacks make any surprise moves ahead of the trade deadline? We'll discuss it after the D-backs game. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports.
Well, he's been placed on non-disciplinary paid leave, L, until August 31st, and Major League Baseball still looking into the situation to try and figure out exactly what Emmanuel Clase did and just how involved it is with Luis Ortiz as well. The fact, though, that he is on leave at this point is alarming and concerning to the Cleveland Guardians and to Clase as well, and frankly, to all of Major League Baseball. We've seen a number of gambling cases that have come up, and the fact that right now it involves a 3-time All-Star, a 2-time American League best reliever, and that 2 players from the same team are both part of this investigation. The Guardian said that they expect only these 2 to be involved, and yet still it is problematic for the organization and all of baseball as a whole.
Problematic for a number of reasons. That's Jeff Passan from ESPN talking about the nature of the Emmanuel Clase case. He is on non-disciplinary leave from the team. Mm-hmm. Second Guardians pitcher to be put on that list due to a gambling investigation. It's also problematic because the Guardians are not exactly in the thick of the American League Central race.
Yep.
And they might have been able to trade Emmanuel Clase and got a lot for him because he's one of the best relief pitchers in baseball.
Yep.
So that puts another damper on this story. But focusing on the nature of the story, I've made it very clear. I'm not a sports gambler in any way. I'm uncomfortable with people asking me my opinion on something related to sports gambling. That's how removed from it I am. But I'm also aware of how things work. And with legalized sports gambling now, you can basically bet on every pitch of a baseball game.
That is
and
exactly
that's what's happening in this case.
Yep.
It's basically an investigation on weird betting patterns on individual pitches.
Yeah. And so this is back in the day. So Emmanuel Clase is literally the highest profile baseball player to kind of be in this kind of soup since Pete Rose. And well, what did he do wrong? Well, here is the issue. We're not talking about baseball players trying to throw games or baseball players betting on outcomes of games. That's old school. That was the Pete Rose dynamic, which led to that whole semantic argument about, well, he's only betting on the team to win. What's the big deal? Well, there's a lot of big deal in that. But in the case, as you pointed out now, there is so much minutia in sports gaming that it's so easy that it's ripe for this kind of issue. So in the case of Emmanuel Clase, it was something as innocuous, air quotes, as throwing first pitch balls and betting on them, allegedly. And so, and just the fact that these gambling companies, the platforms, have the technology, because you see this all the time in tennis, because tennis is a sport that is rife with danger of people throwing matches. And so there are people who watch tennis players and flag mysterious, suspicious behavior.
It's easy to get to one person.
Yeah, right.
It's not a team sport.
That's it.
As we learned from Kevin Durant.
Yeah, that's right. So this is just something that you can't draw a direct line to. Oh well, baseball should have known better. You partner up with legalized gambling, and you're opening Pandora's box. It's not that clear cut. But it's just the nature of sports gaming in 2025, where you can do it on your phone, you can do it fairly anonymously, and you can do it, as Vinny said, on a pitch-to-pitch basis.
Yeah, I was at a baseball game recently and was a couple rows in front of, there was a group of like 10 guys basically betting on every pitch of the game.
Wow.
Celebrating that the St. Louis Cardinals scored a run against the Diamondbacks late.
Yeah. Right.
But the availability of it doesn't glaze over the rules and the stress that Major League Baseball and other sports put on this. You can't do it. I work for an NBA team. I can't bet on basketball if I wanted to. I could bet on other sports, which I choose not to, But that's me. I'm talking into a microphone for 2 hours, 41 nights a year, and I can't bet on basketball. But so the rules are out there. It's very, very clear. The temptation is too great, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like, to your point, it's cut and dry for these athletes, and it's a completely different conversation when it comes to like fandom and fans. Like a lot of people will go to games or bet on games just for the entertainment of it, to have some skin in the game, this, that, the other. They're at a live sporting event. How can we make it more fun? Like, I'm all for that. Sometimes it gets a little out of hand, but these guys are controlling the outcome of the actual game. Mm-hmm. And again, when it came to the Shohei Ohtani scandal, that one, think what you think. That's a little tougher because he's the best player on the planet. But even this Clase thing, he's not betting on his team to win or lose the game. It's a thing that he can actually control. Oh, yeah. Which is, and it goes back to the markets in which these FanDuels, DraftKings, all these betting things, it's what they offer. Of if they're going to offer it and he's going to use that, then that's his problem. And it's, to your point, it's cut and dry. Like, if you do this, these are the...
That's the point, though. There's way too much offered that can be manipulated without, if it's the outcome of a game, I still think professional pride takes over. That, I know there's been point shaving scandals too, where, hey, these guys manipulated the difference, the line, if you will. Mm-hmm. They still won the game. But it just seems so easy to manipulate. He's going to throw a ball in the first pitch. Well, okay. He's going to throw a ball in the first pitch. It's 50-50 to begin with. Maybe they're just offering too many options to the gambler who's sitting on a chair watching these games and trying to make money.
Yeah, and if you are like higher ups in those betting organizations, like it is probably really hard for you to wrap your head around the thought of, okay, we're going to give the people these markets. The last thing you're thinking of is the athlete taking advantage of that. But to your point, they're offering it, and so it's just a Wild West thing.
Right now it is, because like NIL and college football and college athletics, it went from 0 well past 60 at the drop of a hat. So now they're maybe trying to rein it in, but this is not a great look for Emmanuel Clase or Major League Baseball right now.
No. And again, I am still waiting for the big one to come to sports, because it's going to happen at some point in time. This gets flagged down because these platforms, they monitor all this stuff, and if there's, oh, wait a minute, that's an unusually high number of dollars being bet on somebody to throw a ball on the first pitch of a game. Mm-hmm. Let's look into that. Yeah. That's how they got snagged.
Well, when everything's digitally flagged, it's a heck of a lot easier.
That's it.
It's not looking for paper receipts in the Pete Rose scandal back in the 80s.
Trying to find Tony the Hook.
Coming up next, there is a lot wrong with the Arizona Diamondbacks at this point as we near the trade deadline. Can they pull out of it, or is this the direction for the rest of the year? We'll get into it next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Join us for Give-a-thon Week, August 18th through the 22nd. You'll hear from the patients and families getting life-saving care at one of our country's premier children's hospital networks. The Give-a-thon for Phoenix Children's is presented by your Valley Hyundai dealers and Y-Refi.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here for Chapman BMW, and buyer beware is great advice when buying a new car, as in beware the high price of mediocrity. It is everywhere in the automotive world, but you will not find mediocrity at Chapman BMW. This is a family-owned, award-winning business since 1966. Everything they do, first class. You feel it the minute you step into either of their two locations, and those two different locations guarantee you the best selection you are going to find, no matter what you are looking for. You're going to find it at Chapman BMW. And talk about red carpet service. If you ever need service on your Chapman BMW, you can take advantage of their pickup and delivery service free of charge. They come to you, they pick up your car, they drop off a loaner, and they return your original car when the work is done. That's pretty cool stuff from Chapman BMW. Proof of what I've been saying, red carpet service from top to bottom. And while you're there, make sure you take advantage of your hookup. Take a test drive, find what you like, ask for Shane Hanrahan, GM of both locations, great dude. He guarantees every listener of Arizona Sports is going to get the best deal possible in the state of Arizona. You can always shop online at ChapmanBMW.com. That's Chapman BMW. 2 great locations, 1 great experience.
There has never been a better time to join Global Credit Union than right now. Dave Burns here, proud member, and at Global Credit Union, they're all about eliminating fees, no-fee checking and savings accounts, or for accidentally going over your account balance. It's easy to join with 10 branches across the valley, and you can always reach a live person 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Explore the benefits of becoming a member at globalcu.org, your world of financial possibilities. Free checking and no monthly maintenance fee. Only apply to core checking accounts. Direct deposit required for early payday. Other fees may apply.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
If Old Spice Deep Sea Super Hydration Body Wash were music, what would it sound like? Start with the deep sounds of Old Spice's ocean waves and kelp. Layer on the smooth, renewing moisture. You wouldn't hear any parabens or phthalates because Old Spice Deep Sea hasn't got any. But you would hear that vitamin B3 for healthier looking skin. So while your regular body wash sounds like this, Old Spice sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Hi, this is Stuart Willis, President of Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. A personal relationship with your financial advisor really matters. It's super important that you have the ability to talk about anything you need to with your advisor. So if you have been pushed off to a call center and you don't have a one-on-one relationship with your financial advisor, then reach out to us at AssetPreservationWealth.com. That's AssetPreservationWealth.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
All right, grab some buds and listen up. Grilling season's here. Now we find out what we're made of. Are we gonna fold under pressure and overcook the burgers? Or are we gonna nail the carne asada and the brisket and pack the coolers with ice-cold Budweiser and Bud Light? Because that's the difference between winning and losing, between flipping burgers and grilling like a pro.
This summer, grill like a pro with Bud and Bud Light. Stock up today. Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser, and Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Sammy Cebulka with what's trending now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. It was more of the same from the Arizona Diamondbacks yesterday. Minimal offensive output that led to a 12-2 loss in Detroit yesterday. Brandon Pfaadt got touched up for 7 earned runs in the loss, but not a lot of time to think about it as the Snakes and Tigers' first pitch from Detroit will be at 10:10 this morning, and you can hear it on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. As Cardinals training camp rolled on yesterday, Marvin Harrison Jr. joined Wolf and Luke yesterday and had this to say on him being the ultimate team guy.
Football's the ultimate team sport. I think growing up seeing, obviously my dad play football, and I understand how much a team really, matters to not one individual couldn't make the whole offense go or make the defense go or have the individual success. So I'm very aware of that. I think that's always been that way.
The Cardinals are off today, but they will continue camp tomorrow. This report is brought to you by America Roofing. America Roofing wants to give you some relief on your roof. Save 12% with their tariff and tax relief, or get a free inspection online at americaroofingco.com, Arizona's largest roofer.
Arizona Sports.
Bickley and Marotta. Talking MLB trade deadline. Now.
Payoff. Swing and a miss. Alexander down on strikes. And Detroit's taking the first two in this series. They win tonight 12-2.
Final call from Mike Farron on the D-backs radio network last night. It was a promising beginning and then about 100 shades of ugly after that.
Sure was.
And you want to talk about a struggling baseball team. The Tigers were struggling going into this series. They had lost 12 out of 14 going in, but man, they're getting healthy against the Diamondbacks. And I want to start with the pitching because Brandon Pfaadt again struggled last night, and a lot was made during the telecast, and I know you were watching it too, about kind of over the course of the season, Brandon Pfaadt changing his pitch mix, like going away from the four-seamer, using more of a cutter, was having some success with it. And then something happened last night. He gives up, the home runs, completely wakes up the bats of Detroit, gave up a career high in hits. There's 13 pitchers right now in Major League Baseball, Bick, that have 90 or more innings pitched and ERAs above 5. And the Diamondbacks have 3 of the 13.
Ooh, that's not a good statistic.
That's not a great sign.
Yeah, listen, so I think there are a lot of things in the air about what this team is going to look like next year. I know the trade deadline, we're inside of 48 hours, and that's going to bring some change, quite obviously, as well. The Brandon Pfaadt season has now risen to me after last night's start to a level of concern I didn't think I was going to have. I felt pretty good a couple of weeks ago that at the very least you would have a Ryan Nelson, Brandon Pfaadt duo somewhere at the top of that rotation, and if you could get a guy like Merrill Kelly to stick around, okay, maybe you've got a good patchwork rotation that you can get through next year until Corbin Burns comes back. Brandon Pfaadt's given up a ton of home runs, and he is running into these innings almost routinely where he's just leaving pitches right out over the plate. And these are professional hitters, and they don't miss that kind of stuff, and they haven't missed it against Brandon Pfaadt. And you wonder now, what is his future? What is he going to be?
I think it's a fair question because his rookie season, when he came up in 2023, it was very tough for him early on. And you remember that first game, he gave up 3 home runs in Texas, and he looked terrified in doing so.
Yeah.
What he did in the postseason and the World Series run in 2023 was supposed to plant the seed for excellence. And his ERA in 32 starts last year was .471. It's now over 5 in 21 starts this year. He's locked up. They got this is a task for the Diamondbacks and whoever's in charge, figuring out Brandon Pfaadt because he's going to be part of this team. But I look at it too, and you're right. Ryan Nelson has answered the call again, and for the second straight year, second half of the season, he's become the best pitcher on this staff.
Yeah,
unequivocally. You got him moving forward.
Yes.
Brandon Pfaadt's going to be here moving forward. What the rotation looks like at the after that is anybody's guess because Zach Gallen could be gone he could be gone by the time we're off the air.
Yeah, it's
Merrill
true.
Kelly could be gone by the time we're off the air. Corbin Burns ain't coming back next year. Eduardo Rodriguez, he is under contract, but talk about another underwhelming. His ERA's over 5 since he's been a Diamondback at $20 million per year.
Yeah.
So something's got to give.
No, there's no doubt about it. So I think that is something that really bears watching. Listen, and this is not the greatest look for their brand new pitching coach, who was a celebrated addition back in spring training. An outside of the box kind of hire, a guy that had really good rave reviews or really good reviews in Philly, a guy that came with a blend of pitching knowledge and the physiology of it all. The results haven't been good. Let's be honest. They just have not been good. So I don't know. Listen, Part of me thinks that the Diamondbacks really dodged a bullet with this latest news on Geno Suarez going into the trade deadline. I'm surprised they're even playing him today. He's starting as designated hitter today. Maybe that changes. Maybe he gets traded before the game even begins. Maybe he just walks over to the other clubhouse. And, it's funny. We were just talking about that in a joking way, and it just happened.
Yeah, with
Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Yeah. We went from Baltimore to Toronto.
Yeah.
And then Baltimore kicked Toronto's butt in a doubleheader. That had to be rough. This could be a Geno Suarez acknowledgement. Hey, one more game. I want to play this game. And maybe there's a deal worked out with Detroit even after the game.
Can we put his hands in bubble wrap?
Save him the trip to Sacramento.
That's right. That's right.
Ketel Marte is in the lineup today, a day game after a night game.
Okay.
A little bit interesting.
Okay.
I think it's also interesting that we mentioned it during the splash that Jake McCarthy's name popped up in trade rumors yesterday that Houston might be sniffing around. Neither Jake McCarthy or Alek Thomas are in the lineup today against a right-handed pitcher in Chris Paddock. That Jorge Barrosa instead is playing center field.
Yeah, that's
and
interesting.
batting ninth.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Lourdes Gurriel is back in the lineup in left field against a right-handed pitcher. So it's like matchups don't apply right now,
Yeah. Right. So clearly this is not the Diamondbacks in pursuit of a wild card berth. This is something different.
This is who can get hot.
I mean, I've never seen anything like this, and I looked it up today. They have had 8 straight games of 3 runs or less, and we're talking about a team that before this 8-game stretch was lauded as one of the top offenses in baseball.
One of the most dynamic, potent offenses in baseball, can beat you with slug and with speed.
2 games away from a franchise record.
That's terrible. So I don't know whether that's disengagement. I don't know whether that's tuning out the manager. I don't know whether it's just an admission and a recognition that this group just ain't it. But it's something. This whole season, man, we've talked about this a couple of times, but when you step away from it, this season has never been right. From the wacky decision to poll everybody about who's going to be your opening day starter, to have the embarrassment of Corbin Burns needing to be the 5th guy out of the gate because he's not the first guy. That was bizarre.
The sloppy opening night performance against the Cubs where they just didn't look like themselves, and that's been kind of par for the course.
Yeah, they just slow rolled their way all through that whole thing. The treatment of Ryan Nelson when they needed a bullpen arm, you ended up taking your guy who was either your second best starter or best starter, and because he was young and under control, you put him in the bullpen. They just have been making wrong move after wrong move after wrong move.
Yeah, and then, the bullpen, I think, had things been going right to the point where the bullpen and pitching staff injuries started to mount, they would have been able to navigate it a little bit better.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the vibes were off, and then you throw in the injuries, it just added to the vibes being off.
So true.
And I think 2 years ago, the Diamondbacks are going through a stretch like they're going through now 2 years ago. Torey Lovullo is way more demonstrative and way more aggressive in his messaging, I think, at least publicly. Like, I really, and I mentioned it before, I wanted to see the post-game interview with Torey last night because I wanted to hear the tone. I wanted to hear if that finally set in, and I don't have context. I'm reading it off a page like everybody else, but for him to say, we're just, no more yelling and screaming, what's that going to do at this point? We got to root for these guys. That's not the tack that I think he would have taken 2 years ago.
There's a lot of people, not just me, who believe that one of Torey Lovullo's mistakes has been the coddling of Ketel Marte and the days off issue. This also applies last night when Ketel Marte inexplicably tried to steal third and was picked off. And after the game, Torey Lovullo just, no, I'm perfectly fine with it.
Yeah.
And it's like, and as you pointed out, it's
he
not like
he hadn't stole a base since May 24th, and he's got 2 all year.
Yeah.
But that stretch where he tagged up at first on the fly ball and took second base, like, where's this coming from?
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
And maybe that was Ketel Marte's effort to try to reverse the trends that were happening because this team is flat and dead in the water.
Could be. Really pushing it to try to get a different result. This has been brutal.
Yeah.
This whole baseball season.
Last chance to join the Arizona Sports Fantasy Football Frenzy. Text FANTASY to 620-620 and battle your favorite host for bragging rights and the Fantasy Football Championship belt. Spots are almost gone, so text FANTASY to 620-620 now. Arizona Sports Fantasy Football Frenzy is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Don't forget to book your own fantasy football draft party at DraftKings. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Coming up next, the Arizona State Sun Devils on the doorstep, beginning a season in defense of their Big 12 championship. And the schedule's looking pretty good. We'll fill you in on that and what the head coach, Kenny Dillingham, had to say straight ahead. Bickley and Murata Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Cardinals Training Camp 2025. The Red Reckoning. The Red Reckoning. 90 players enter State Farm Stadium at the beginning of camp. Only 53 can earn a spot on the final roster. Motor and violence. Training camp coverage presented by Bud Light. The Red Reckoning. On your exclusive home for Arizona Cardinals football. Arizona Sports 98.7. The app. YouTube channel. ArizonaSports.com.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here. Sports fans know all about game changers and all over Arizona. That is what New Life Dental Implant Center is doing. They are changing the game for people with loose or missing teeth, ill-fitting dentures, people with dental issues. They are giving those people their dignity and their happiness back. One of them, one of our listeners, her name is Cindy. She faced significant dental challenges that affected her confidence and her quality of life. After discovering New Life Dental Implant Center, she felt welcome and cared for. She went forward with dental implants and experienced a remarkable transformation, regaining both her smile and her self-assurance. That's what they're giving people. They are rated America's #1 all-on-4 dental implant provider. They offer amazing quality, great convenience, and the best prices you are going to find. New Life Dental Implant Center wants their implants available to everybody. People of limited means, people with limited to no insurance. They have fantastic, flexible financing programs that make it all possible at New Life Dental Implant Center. That new smile, that new you, just one phone call away. 602-855-0000, online at newsmilearizona.com.
At the UPS Store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, menus, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop prints that pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
A summer, it can be a four-letter word in Phoenix. We get it. No, not during the Ford Summer Sales Event going on right now at our Desert Ford dealers. Yep, it is here, and it is a great time to buy a Ford. Paul Calvisi here. That is exactly what we did late last summer. Bought my wife a brand new Ford Explorer at our Desert Ford dealers. My daily driver, my Ford Edge. Love the versatility, the capability. And you know what? Check out Ford's full lineup, because during the Summer Sales Event, it is on, like the legendary Ford F-Series trucks with all that capability you need to get the job done, or a tech-savvy SUV like the all-new 2025 Ford Expedition with that Ford digital experience and panoramic 24-inch display. And don't forget the Bronco family, making adventure more epic every time you go out on the road. Work or play, the power is yours. Or get plugged in, or do a little bit of both. But hurry, the Ford Summer Sales Event won't last forever at our Desert Ford dealers. Click buyfordnow.com.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait one sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With
24 monthly bill credits, new line, $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement, $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified, plus tax and $10 connection charge. Payout via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Hey, it's Wolf. Is there less pressure on Marvin Harrison Jr. in year 2? We'll discuss after the D-backs game. It's Wolf and Luke on Arizona Sports.
I mean, I'm not worried about the championship or any of that stuff. That's a moot point to me. But this league is super competitive. I mean, you alluded to it. You have Texas Tech, who, I mean, they have more guys, that could be drafted than arguably any team in the country right now, according to some of these sites. They've put together an unbelievable team. You have Utah, who's always really good on defense. Now they have a really good quarterback that's there. They have consistency at that position. You have Baylor. I mean, the list goes on. There's a reason there's only a 3.5 win total difference between last place and first place in this league. And that tells you how competitive this league is every single week you can lose, and every single week you can win. And that's why us picked last, won it all last year, is because we won close games. And us picked at the top could lose all those close games this year and be at the bottom.
It's Kenny Dillingham, the head coach of the Arizona State Sun Devils, addressing the media yesterday as they get ready for fall camp and defense of their Big 12 championship. And look, they're going to be picked to finish very well again this year. There was no preseason Big 12 media poll. We know that. But Brett McMurphy had a story yesterday, Bick, that was interesting.
Blew my mind.
And a little fact about Arizona State football heading into this season, that ASU at this point are projected to be favorites in every single game that they play this year. One of only 5 teams to be able to make that claim currently. Those lines could shift. ASU, Clemson, Georgia, Notre Dame, and Ohio State.
Wow. You talk about being judged by the company you keep. Sign me up for that.
Yeah.
One of 5 teams favored to win every game they play. Now, obviously, it's not that easy, but just to be mentioned in that particular group, it's everything ASU fans ever wanted. Sustainability, sleeping giant rises and assumes a spot at the top of college football. That's kind of on the line this year. And what Kenny Dillingham said in that cut you just played is also the God's honest truth, that they could they could be really good this year and lose a bunch of close games and not have the success that everyone thinks they're going to. That's, if you go back and work through last season, they went from 6 wins to 10 wins, and it felt like it was just a magic carpet ride.
Yeah, because Mississippi State early, Texas State in non-conference, and then conference games, Kansas, Utah, UCF, BYU. Those were all termed one-score games, 8 points or less. They were 6-1 in those games in the regular season. The only close game they lost in the regular season was the Texas Tech game. Then they got real hot, and they started blowing teams out. When they blew out Arizona, they blew out Iowa State in the Big 12 championship game. But they lost on a close game, too.
Yeah.
In the Peach Bowl against Texas. He's exactly right about that. That, to me, is a sign of a good team, though, when you can make the plays to pull out. And I'll go back to the Kansas game, because that game swung a couple times late in the fourth quarter, and ASU made the plays required to win that game. Now they're armed with confidence, but the Big 12, nobody's going to say the Big 12 is the best football conference in the nation because it's not top-heavy. But he's right. There's 16 teams, and even last year there wasn't any easy outs.
Oh, none.
For the most part.
No. And I'm looking at the schedule right now so they go NAU, Mississippi State, Texas State, and then they start conference play at Baylor, who is considered behind ASU to be the second best Big 12 team. And then they go TCU at Utah, which is always a tough place to play. And then Texas Tech and Houston, both 2 teams which are supposed to be wildly better than they were last year.
Texas Tech beat them last year.
Exactly. And then you're at Iowa State, who they played last year, beat them, and then they finished West Virginia, Colorado, ASU, or U of A, sorry. So to say that the Big 12 is not as good as the other football conferences, sure, but that doesn't mean they just will walk over their schedule.
No, but it depends on how you define the strength of a conference.
Yes.
I saw a stat where I think it's the same 6 programs in the SEC, which is has 16 teams as well. But it's the same 6 that win the conference title on, Nobody else is included.
No.
So when they talk to the top to bottom strength of the SEC, it's not exactly correct.
And that's that case in the Big Ten even more.
Yeah, and
even more so.
And this iteration of the Big 12, one of the reasons I was for it from an ASU standpoint, this move to the Big 12, well, I think the geography is just nuts, and I miss the tradition, but the lack of a blue blood powerhouse currently in the Big 12 makes it an attractive playground for new teams. And ASU's got just as much chance as Colorado or Utah or TCU or Texas Tech to become the powerhouse moving forward in this conference. But top to bottom, it might be the toughest.
Yeah.
There's no patsies.
No. I think one break, if you want to call it that, is the Jake Retzloff situation at BYU.
Yes.
All that stuff that went down with him. He was facing that student code violation and a 7-game suspension, and he said, "Nah, I think I'm going to go somewhere else." I don't think they've got a quarterback even announced at this point in time.
BYU, no.
Yeah. So and with that kid, that team would have been a problem.
Yeah, and the big thing that I am looking at with ASU is that unlike a Georgia or an Ohio State or even a Notre Dame, their wiggle room is very little. To where if they, in week 4, if they stumble and lose to a Baylor, that's already one loss, and now you have to be virtually perfect the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Unlike a Georgia where if they lose to a LSU or a Bama, they have that luxury of saying, oh, we lost to that team. There's maybe room for one more loss and we can still get in the playoff. ASU doesn't have that, I don't think. Right?
I don't think so either. Kenny Dillingham, at the beginning, we played the soundbite. He said he's not talking about the championship, not thinking about the championship. That's the correct way to enter things, even as the defending champion. But he was asked yesterday, too, what does a successful 2025 look like for his program?
Yeah, I think a successful season is playing our best football. Just playing our best football. A successful season is just continuing the brand of football we want to play, which is people know that we're going to be a physical football team, and we're going to play passionate, and we're going to play physical. Like that brand continuing on, that you can feel the passion when you watch us on TV. I say all the time, like when somebody describes us, what do you want it to be? How do you want somebody to describe us? Cute? Is that how you want it? Like that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. A lot of teams win, in a cute manner. Or do you want to be described as a dude who strap it up? And to me, I want our football team to be described as that.
Yeah, and look, the seeds are planted on all those fronts.
Yeah.
The returning talent that they have is maybe overwhelming for the rest of the conference because outside of Cam Scadaboo not coming back, it's basically the same team, armed with confidence. And for a team that even I wasn't all that convinced at how good ASU was until they went on the road and beat Kansas State.
Yeah, it was big
That
time.
was the game where I was like, okay, I think they might have something.
Yep.
Because they had a lot of close wins mixed into those games when they were 7-2 to start the season. So I'm very bullish on them this year, but I think Kenny Dillingham is approaching this from a philosophical standpoint the right way.
If they get back into the college football playoff, a whole new horizon is going to open up for this football program. I mentioned this yesterday. And not only it's not just the 17 returning starters, it's not just the great wide receiver, the great quarterback, the great coaching staff, all that belief that's there. You're going to have this dynamic this year where you're going to have Cam Scadaboo playing in the NFL, and Cam Scadaboo, it's amazing how many people have gravitated to him as a favorite type player. He had his first padded practice with the Giants. It's already legendary.
Yeah.
They had to sit him out the second day because they quote he ran himself into the ground on day one. So he's bringing that kind of stuff to the Giants. So that's going to play out while Sam Levitt's going to play out, while Kenny Dillingham continues to kind of cultivate all these big, powerful media people on his side. Reese Davis is the latest. Reese Davis sat down, played ping pong with Kenny, played Madden with Kenny. They even played the Texas ASU game against each other.
Yeah.
And so all of this is just building the persona of this football program, quite literally, and I know you hate the phrase, the sleeping giant, because that's what it's threatening to become. You're getting mentioned as one of 5 teams favored to win every game on your schedule. Now, we all know that's probably virtually impossible to do, but all this stuff, this branding, this messaging, it all matters.
Yeah. It's so much fun when the college football team in town is relevant. Coming up next, Sammy's going to take us through the big stories on this Wednesday and the reboot. It's Bickley and Murata mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
The Give-a-thon for Phoenix Children's is coming in August. You'll hear from the patients and families getting life-saving care at one of our country's premier children's hospital networks. The Give-a-thon for Phoenix Children's is presented by your Valley Hyundai dealers and Y-Refi.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here for Advanced Window Products, and last year I came on the radio and told everyone about my summertime electric bill of $666. I thought it was hysterical. 666, sign of the devil, proof we live in Arizona, all that. A lot of our listeners started mocking me, calling me wasteful. None of that was true. What was true is my windows are shot, and that is why I'm stoked to tell you about Advanced Window Products. They are locally run, family-owned, a great company that believes in treating customers as friendships. I've already done business with them, and that is exactly how they roll. They're also Arizona's premier window replacement company, where they offer the most affordable, high-quality custom windows in the state, and they can do that because there is no middleman. They're the manufacturers. They've got a factory here in the Valley, so they'll build your windows specifically for our climate. They'll install the windows, then they'll guarantee it for life. Even better, currently running a great summertime special. Buy 10 or more windows, you will get a $2,500 discount. A great deal. I took advantage of that. You should too. Call today, 480-764-2002, online at advancedwindows.com.
Hey, it's Vince Murata here for Earnhardt Ford in Chandler. My buddy John Nissen, GM at Earnhardt Ford, and his team have just kicked off some amazing deals you've got to hear about. But first, what do you think it'll cost you to roll out in a brand new Ford? How about zero? Yeah, that's right, zero. Not just now, 90 days down the road. That's right, with approved credit, you get 0% APR financing, zero down payment, and zero payments for 90 days. And folks, all this is available on their most popular models, 2024 and 25 Mustangs, Escapes, F-150s, even 2025 Lightning, Expedition, and 2024 Bronco models. The list goes on. Plus, buy now and get a Ford Protect 2-year, 25,000-mile premium maintenance plan at no charge. That's another zero out of pocket. Just stop in and tell them I sent you. They've got no bull deals you've been waiting for, or shop online 24/7 at EarnhardtFord.com.
Most new vehicles include the no bull protection packages and added benefit. $699 for cars and SUVs, $1598 for trucks. After all applicable offers. For well-qualified customers through Ford Credit. Plus tax, title, license, and $599 doc fee. See dealer for details. Offers in 9/30/25.
I'm Diamond Dave, and I've been doing this for over 35 years, and my family for 4 generations. A lot has changed since 1990. Our marketing, our teams, even many of our sources. But one thing hasn't changed. Our commitment to offering the absolute best quality at the lowest prices possible. People ask why we don't do weekends, why we don't have 40 feet of showcases, why we work by appointment only. Simple. We're not a jewelry store. We're world-class importers, designers, and wholesalers. To give you elite quality at wholesale pricing, we have to do things differently. Think a high-end showroom or thousands of rings on display makes it better? It doesn't. It just makes it more expensive and a lot less personal. Come to Diamond Dave's and buy the smart way with insider access, wholesale prices, and zero pressure.
Call 480-397-2450. That's 480-397-2450. Or follow Dave on Instagram at Diamond Dave Cantor. That's at Diamond Dave, Kantor.
Orthopedic care. At Abrazo Health, we believe these 2 words are better together. When joint pain postpones a walk with friends or halts a weekend hike, recruit our orthopedic physicians, surgeons, and physical therapists to join your team. From our minimally invasive advanced technology designed to improve patient outcome to our comprehensive rehabilitation program, start your journey to a pain-free life. Find your partner in care at abrazohealth.com/orthopedics.
Summer's here, and so are friends, family, and fun. But emergencies don't take a vacation. That's why having naloxone in your home first aid kit matters. Naloxone can reverse an opioid overdose fast. It's safe, easy to use, and it could save a life while you wait for help to arrive. This summer, be ready. Add naloxone to your home first aid kit because seconds matter. And so do the people you love. Learn more at naloxoneaz.org. That's naloxoneaz.org.
I'm Sammy Cebulka with what's trending now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. As NFL training camps are underway across the country, the Cardinals and newcomer Josh Sweat are really starting to come together as a team.
Shoot, we all coming together.
Yeah, that's the biggest. That message hasn't changed since I left. But it's just connect with each other, and we you know what I'm saying. We all care about each other, and we're gonna do it for one another.
Camp will roll on tomorrow for the Arizona Cardinals, but for more on the Arizona Cardinals and training camp, be sure to head to arizonasports.com. With the MLB trade deadline now just a day away, some major chess pieces still remain on this Diamondbacks ball club. Eugenio Suarez, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, and perhaps some others are still Diamondbacks for now. But on the diamond yesterday, the Snakes continued their struggles as the Tigers beat them 12-2, and they'll look to avoid the sweep this morning with Ryan Nelson on the mound. First pitch from Detroit will be at 10:10 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports, 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. This report is brought to you by the Berg Simpson Law Firm. Injured? Call the Berg Simpson Law Firm or visit bergsimpson.com. Good lawyers, changing lives.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader. Bentley and Morano Mornings. Rush Hour Reboot. Rush Hour Reboot. Getting you up to speed on everything happening in sports this morning. Brought to you by Brooklyn Bedding. For the best sleep ever, get the best mattress ever at Brooklyn Bedding.
Good morning. It is 7:33. That means it is time for the Rush Hour Reboot, and I'll start. I'm not going to break any news with this by saying that the Diamondbacks are more than struggling right now. We talked about that. There are 13 qualified pitchers with ERAs over 5. The Diamondbacks have 3 of them. They have star players hitting themselves over the head with their bat last night. And it seems like the proverbial white flag may have been waved when they traded Josh Naylor, kind of telling everyone that they're going to sell at this deadline. And we talked again about Torey Lovello's message to the team and the clubhouse of kind of this coddling feel. What would your message be to this ball club in the clubhouse right now?
Yeah, I think it's a little late for that. I think the die has already been cast, but I do think that they're just this team just kind of rolls without a sense of accountability, and it feels kind of like it's in a lot of different places in that clubhouse. Now, there are guys who are immune to that. Like Vinny and I were talking about moving forward, this team, you got to rebuild around Corbin Carroll and Geraldo Perdomo and kind of make those two guys your core players. And I will say this, with all the complaining I have done over the last couple of games in Detroit, I think one of the big small victories was that fly ball to Corbin Carroll in right field where they didn't test his arm, and then Corbin Carroll proved why by throwing a bullet to home plate. And that was one moment where I'm like, okay, that's a baseball player who is still on the rise.
Yes.
But everything else has just been, it's just been so soggy and undependable.
Well, I mean, the Carroll arm example is a good one, I think, because it's his arm strength and his ability to throw from the outfield is so much more noticeable than it was earlier in his career. He represents the only outfield arm they have.
Yeah.
So he is a guy that's still working hard. And I'm not saying other guys are loafing it, but again, I think Bick's right when you say that the messaging to me right now is weird.
Yeah.
But I don't know how you'd change it, because I do agree. I think the time has come and gone for putting the foot down and admonishing players for maybe not giving it their all.
And what really bothers me is I really thought that this team was going to act exactly the opposite. I thought what they endured in the last week of last season would have sort of sharpened them up, given them a real profound edge, and we saw it in spring training. They just slow rolled their way into the season, and it's been a debacle.
Yeah, it has. We talked last segment a lot about Kenny Dillingham and this ASU team and the expectations they have. And so Reese Davis, you mentioned, he's doing this series where he goes across the country and he spends time with college football coaches that are, quote, shaping the game. So he made his way to Tempe, spent some time with Kenny Dillingham, and they were talking about competition, especially with the all the trinkets and toys ASU has in their system. He says,
Kenny, outside this says it's the Players Lounge, but you've got a better name.
for this whole area?
It's Competitionville. Everything's about competition. And so we got golf simulator, ping pong tables, video games, pool tables. I mean, anything that you can compete in.
Why do you like that? Why is that important for building a team?
Because winning and losing matters. And you better get used to winning. It better piss you off to lose.
So we obviously know the persona Kenny wants to bring to this team, but what are you continuing to learn or be impressed by with Coach Dillingham?
I've been saying this consistently. His messaging is so on point and so, and it resonates with young people. He knows how to frame up what is in front of this team in almost the perfect way every single time.
Yeah, it is rare for any coach to be able to have that gift. But for him to do it so early in his head coaching career, too, I mean, he's still one of the youngest head coaches in FBS football. So it's that. But also, I mean, what stands out to me, to be successful as a college coach in any sport, especially in football, you have to have a ridiculous work ethic and an unbelievable amount of energy to do it correctly.
Yes, no doubt.
And that every time you're subjected to or privy to anything that Kenny Dillingham is doing, he's got both of those things. So very impressive.
Yeah, the energy you speak of, I think, is contagious with his team. Later on in that Reese Davis piece, he's playing Madden against him.
Yeah.
And a bunch of his players walked in, and they were stoked to see Reese, stoked to see them playing Madden.
Yeah.
And Dillingham scored a touchdown, and those guys were going nuts
crazy.
for him.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
That's the kind of stuff that you can't fake when it comes to teams.
That's a great point, Sammy. I totally agree with that. And Kenny Dillingham's got a good-looking golf swing, too.
Yeah, he does.
I was going to say that, too. All right, we'll finish up. We love to talk about, like, overreactions in training camp and videos of guys saying, oh, he's going to be a problem or this unit is going to be an issue, but
he's in the best shape of his
yeah,
career.
Exactly. Aside from, like, those overreactions, and it can be Cardinals-focused or throughout the rest of the NFL, what is one or two storylines that you're intrigued to see play out over the next couple weeks as we head into week one?
Vic mentioned one earlier. Cam Scadaboo's effect on the New York Giants training camp, and the daily reaction to the highlights that are out. From, again, it's practice reps, so it's 50 to 75% speed, but he's standing out so much. That's one of them. I think the Giants are way more interesting with Cam Scadaboo on the roster. In terms of the Cardinals, I mean, it's hard not to. It's hard not to get more and more encouraged every day by what you see from Marvin Harrison Jr. Because even on days where the offense doesn't have a great day, the consensus is, well, he stood out again, and he's making highlight plays every single day too. So those are the two for me.
Yeah, listen, I think that the Marvin Harrison Jr. thing, what is this going to look like in terms of a week-to-week basis? What kind of production is he going to give you on a week-to-week basis? That is very, very intriguing to me. And then secondarily, how creative is this defense going to be at attacking the opposing quarterback? I can't wait to see whether or not they continue to try to get super creative with schematics or whether they have the talent now to just say, okay, no, we're just going to play straight up football. Those are a couple of things stand out to me.
Yeah, I think mine, and this is from draft day, but to see what Jacksonville does with Travis Hunter.
That's a good one.
They've shown some videos of both him on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. He looks as good of an athlete as you'll see in just sports. So to see him week one and what they're going to do, I'm really intrigued for. But
he did have his first misstep of training camp. He gave himself a nickname. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't be giving yourself nicknames out here. But
the unicorn.
It's not even a great nickname.
No,
exactly. But there you guys go.
All right, we're all rebooted. Thanks, Sammy. Take us with you wherever you go. If you can't catch us live, find us on demand on the Arizona Sports app, on ArizonaSports.com, or wherever you get your podcasts. The Bickley and Murata Show podcast, brought to you by YRefi. Don't let private student loan debt ruin your life. Go to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com. Coming up next, more Diamondbacks talk. We'll be joined by our Diamondbacks insider, Alex Weiner, in studio. Next, here on Bickley and Murata Mornings, Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons.
If you trade Suarez, you're waving the white flag. You can't argue, you can't make an argument to me that I'm going to trade Suarez but still try to win. So if you trade Suarez, you might as well just go all in and trade everybody else. And I know you're worried about, like, oh, who's going to pitch these games? I got Fott, I got Ryan Nelson, I got Erod, and I'll bring up a couple of guys from the minors to figure it out. Like, I'll get through it. I don't have a lot of the season left. I'll have 50-something games left. I'll figure it out.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons 2 till 6 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Dan Bickley here for Waltz TV and Appliance, and sports fans know you gotta go big, as in big screen televisions, because these sporting events we love so much cannot be viewed on laptops or phones or tablets. They need to be larger than life, and Waltz has exactly what you need to take your fandom to the next level. And if you want to go really big, Waltz has got a 115-inch television set up in their theater room. It is pretty spectacular. You can take a look at that. 110-inch televisions in stock. You won't find them in stock anywhere else. They've got a great selection of big screen televisions, as I said, outdoor televisions, all the major name brands you are looking for. Great selection of audio components, from sound bars to top of the line speakers. And when you put it all together, when you put the right TV built for live action sports with the right sound component, you will have magic. I know Waltz did it for me. They gave me a great price, and they will do the same for you. In fact, they'll do more for you. When you're at Waltz, drop my name. You're going to get 10% off installation or a 3-year warranty for free. That is your choice. You can find Waltz off the I-10 in Warner, right behind the IKEA. You can find them online at waltz.com. Shop local, shop Waltz.
Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort, offering small ship experiences with a shore excursion included in every port and programs designed for cultural enrichment. Discover more at Viking.com. That's Viking.com.
It isn't just any Ford dealer. It is Tim Hobick, Santan Ford, and they're reimagining affordability. We're talking lease deals for $399 a month and 0 down on the brand new 2025 Mustang GT, the Escape, and even Bronco Sport. Just sign and drive with a payment real folks can afford. Tim Hobick, Santan Ford, and Gilbert. The summer sale is on. Some restrictions apply, and there's a $649 dock fee. But you got that, man. Affordability is back in style. I am Santan Ford.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. If you have a 2004 or newer vehicle that's out of warranty or about to be, Endurance is urgently notifying U.S. drivers about their low-cost vehicle coverage plan designed to save drivers thousands on rising vehicle repair costs. Those who qualify can pick their plan, coverage, and repair shop. Roadside service, towing, and rental cars included. All covered repairs get paid directly to the repair shop for you. Call now for your free quote. Call 800-298-7906. 800-298-7906.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey, it's Gambo, and I'm here with Stuart Willis, the president of Asset Preservation, Wealth, and Tax. Stuart, I know a lot of investors that don't really have a good relationship with their advisor because their advisor's checking in with them like once a year. You guys aren't like that.
I think it's very important to have a real relationship with my clients. Clients and investors should feel the same way about their financial advisor. When things go wrong, you want to be comfortable making that call, because when you have this surface level relationship, or if you've been passed off to some customer service line by your financial advisor, then you know what? There's nothing personal there. You need to be able to have a one-on-one real relationship, and I just say this: if that relationship doesn't exist, it's time to find a new one.
And if it's time to find a new one, I want you to call Asset Preservation, Wealth, and Tax. If you want a financial advisor that's going to be with you every step of the way and not just check in on you once a year, call 602-877-PLAN or go to AssetPreservationWealth.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundation Investment Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisor.
The UPS store has high-quality, industry-approved packaging materials. So stop by and get 15% off packing materials and protected with our pack and ship guarantee. Visit theupsstore.com/guarantee or a location near you for full details.
Arizona Sports. Bickley and Murata talking MLB trade deadline. Now,
Yeah, Diamondbacks shellacked last night in Detroit, 12-2 by the Tigers. They'll try to avoid the sweep today. That's probably on the back burner because you've got a trade deadline 30-plus hours away that hits tomorrow. And the Diamondbacks still, if you're reading the reports, could be at the epicenter of all of it with the players they have to offer. Here to talk about all of it with us is our Diamondbacks insider for Arizona Sports, Alex Weiner, who joins us in studio today. Alex, welcome.
Thank you.
Lots to talk about.
Yeah. Hopefully not much on last night's game.
No. There was some fun things to talk about. Like why Ketel Marte was hitting himself over the head with a bat in the ninth inning down 9 runs, but I don't know. Trade deadline. 2 players gone. Naylor's been shipped off, as has Randall Grichuk. Is this Mike Hazen just waiting to the last moment to drum up more interest for the players he has to offer? Are you a little bit surprised there hasn't been more movement before right now?
I think that's been league-wide, too. Yeah. I mean, you think of the last 48 hours before the deadline as particularly active. And yesterday we had one trade where a pitcher went from one clubhouse to the other and pitched in the second game of a doubleheader, which was pretty wild. But I think league-wide it's been a little bit more slow-moving this deadline. I still expect there to be a ton of activity the next day or so. The deadline is tomorrow at 3 o'clock. So I would think there's still going to be plenty of interest in Suarez and Kelly and Gallen. We'll see if anybody else, pops up. But yeah, I would still expect there to be a decent amount of movement, whether it's all 3 or 2 of the 3. We can kind of get into, but yeah, I would say they're definitely not done.
All right, so it looks like the team dodged that metaphorical bullet with Gino Suarez getting hit on the hand. What's your take on the rash of Diamondback players getting hit on the hands? Because I heard Gracie in one post-game show talk about how there's a technique that used to exist in Major League Baseball where a guy would lean your shoulder, your left or your right, depending on what side of the plate you're hitting from, and that's how you absorb a pitch that's coming inside. Then he thinks maybe it's these guys are so armored up that they don't care about that technique anymore. Where do you land on all of this?
Yeah, that's a good point. I think more so the way that the ball is spinning is just a little bit different nowadays than it was, 15, 20 years ago. And, the types of pitches, sinker coming in up on your hands, it just kind of keeps on moving and maybe you don't think it's going to get there. I think that the way that they're being pitched a lot of the times trying to challenge them up and in has been a strategy to try to get these guys out. And a lot of the times they're missing. And I know Torey Lovello is certainly tired of it. He's expressed his frustration about if you can't command your pitches that are coming up and in, don't go up in there. But yeah, no, it's been kind of a brutal season for them. I mean, they lost Corbin Carroll for a couple of weeks because of that. They lost, Suarez for a couple days here and there because of that stuff, and they're not the only ones. So, I would probably say it's probably a combination of things. Yes, you're more typically used to guys kind of turning out of it, but with the way the ball's spinning, if it's a sinker coming up and in on your hands that keeps on going, I can see that being a little bit difficult.
Yeah. Alex Weiner covers the D-backs for us here at Arizona Sports, our guest on Bickley and Murata Mornings. The day before the trade deadline, Zach Gallen's name has obviously been very prevalent. We know he's a pending free agent. How much do you think his performance or lack thereof this year has complicated the market for Zach Gallen here the day before the deadline?
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty significant. I would say the same thing about Sandy Alcantara, too. It's kind of an interesting starting pitching market because Seth Lugo already got his extension. 2 of the top names are having their worst statistical seasons of their careers, and so what do you kind of make of what kind of pitcher you're getting? I would imagine so. I think Gallen has had enough quality starts this season to where you can, as a team, say, okay, if we bring him in and he's not our top guy, but he's our third guy, and we can try to find some sort of consistency with him down the stretch, he could be a real weapon for us in October. But at the same time, if he's kind of pitching the way that he's pitching now, do you trust him to make, an October start in a Game 3 if you desperately need it and you don't know what version he's getting? So I would think that it definitely has impacted his market. It's going to make his free agent market extremely interesting as well.
Yeah, no doubt. One of the silver linings of this season is, at the very least, the Diamondbacks have a good young core of players locked up into the foreseeable future. But now there's questions about Brandon Pfaadt and where his career is going. He's obviously been troubled by the home run ball a lot this year. The 5th inning yesterday was kind of proof. Your thoughts on where he's at and where it's going?
Yeah, I think he's shown a lot of signs of growth this season, the ability to expand the arsenal a little bit. Recently, he's been tinkering with the cutter. He's gotten a lot of pointers from Corbin Burns on that, and I think for the most part it's been fairly successful. Last night was a tough night for him, and you're right, the home runs, that was his issue when he first came up to the major leagues, right, and why he didn't stick the first time. Last year he would throw 4 shutout innings, and then in the 5th inning gave up a 3-run homer and completely ruined his stat line. And I think we've seen a little bit more of that this year. I think he's been better for sustained stretches this year than we've seen from him in the past, particularly at the beginning of the season and going into the All-Star break, right after the All-Star break. But yeah, he's still a young pitcher with some stuff to iron out, and finding ways to kind of keep hitters off of his fastballs and avoid the long ball. That's going to be the next step for him. But I think this year, maybe a little bit disappointing in terms of the sheer numbers, but at the same time, I think that he's still making some strides that you could be optimistic about.
Merrill Kelly is another guy that could be moved between now and the deadline. Thought it was interesting. Merrill was very, very forthright about want to be here, would definitely be interested in signing back here. You mentioned the Seth Lugo deal that he got, the extension from Kansas City, and some have compared Lugo to Kelly, similar situations, age-wise. Is that something that you think internally has been talked about? Is that a possibility that we see Kelly get an extension? Or would they be more willing to roll the dice, trade, get something for him, and then roll the dice that he could come back next season?
Yeah, I don't have intel on a possible extension, but, if they keep him beyond tomorrow, then I think that gives you a good idea of what they're thinking with him. It's possible, we've seen teams bring back guys they've just traded. Last year, the Tigers traded Jack Flaherty at the deadline, went on this crazy run to the postseason, and then just brought Jack Flaherty back. Kelly's been very open about wanting to stay in Arizona. There's a few disadvantages. I think Bick, you mentioned the other day, like what if they win and he really likes it somewhere else, right? You show him something else. There's also, what if another team gives him a qualifying offer and now you have to give up a draft pick to go get him. So there's some little tweaks there that could possibly, complicate that. But yeah, if they want to keep him over the next couple of seasons, I think there's a couple ways you can do that, and whether or not you keep him at this deadline or not, I don't think that tells the full story quite yet.
All right, so what do you think is ahead of this baseball team in the final 54, 55 games, and do you think that this is important to the future of Torey Lovullo, that they at least get back to showing some fight and some competitive grit?
I think so. This past 8 games has been pretty drawing to watch. They've had their struggles this year, but it hasn't quite looked like this, right? They've had games where they've gone through stretches where it's like, they can't hold a lead late, but they get out these big leads. The offense has these 3-inning stretches where they go off and then they don't do anything. A team comes back and there's a little bit more of a back and forth. They've been just kind of silenced in these last, 8 games, especially on this road trip. I wonder if, you get past the trade deadline and that's just kind of a weight lifted off. We know what the team is. We know who's here, who's not going to be here, and they can kind of move forward with it. It shouldn't take that, you would think. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would put Torey Lovullo quite on the hot seat. Obviously, last year didn't end the way that they wanted to. This year has certainly been, disastrous compared to expectations. But yeah, I do think that if you go out and you play good baseball and your younger guys play some good baseball and build some confidence going into next year, whether or not, that's, guys that were even established like Corbin Carroll and Geraldo Perdomo versus if Jordan Lawler comes up and can find some sort of a rhythm at the major league level.
That would be nice.
I think that all of that is there's still plenty to watch for with this team, even if they're not quite competitive in the wild card race, and maybe that does make the difference in how you're looking at Lovullo going into the offseason.
Last thing, we're all looking for crumbs leading to the deadline. McCarthy, Thomas not in the lineup today against a right-handed pitcher in Paddock. McCarthy's name showed up in an athletic report that maybe Houston is sniffing around. You read anything into that at all?
I don't know about the lineups at this point and reading into that stuff. Lourdes wasn't in the lineup yesterday. It looked like it was a day off. He's back in there today. It is interesting with one of those two because those two have been kind of in tandem in trade rumors for seems like the last few years now.
Seems like 10 years.
How can they have both of these guys on the same team? What roles can they possibly open? Last year Jake McCarthy basically took Alek Thomas's role, and then Thomas went down and got hurt, and then his season was basically ruined from there. And this year Thomas has just been more reliable on both sides of the ball than McCarthy has. Not that Thomas is hitting particularly well either. So yeah, it just kind of has felt like this yo-yo between which one of these guys takes those reps. So yeah, maybe it does make some sense if you can, salvage some value for one of them, that one of them goes. But yeah, at this point they haven't done it yet, and I can't imagine their value is higher than it was a year ago.
Well, true.
So I don't know. I don't know how much I read into that one.
Like I said, I'm looking for crumbs, Alex.
Yeah. Oh yeah, as you should.
Thanks for coming in. We appreciate
Alex.
it.
All right, thanks,
you
guys.
You can read Alex's stuff on the Diamondbacks. Does a great job covering the team at ArizonaSports.com. Coming up next, Bick's got your blast on this Wednesday. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings, Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Empire of the Suns. Download it and hit play for Suns Tea and more from Kellen Olson and Kevin Zimmerman. Get Empire of the Suns wherever you get your podcasts or on the Arizona Sports app. Empire of the Suns is brought to you by Sonic. Live free. Eat Sonic.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here for Life Changer Loan. Told you a lot of great success stories from Life Changer Loan. I think this one is my favorite. One of our listeners is a fireman. His wife's in education. They had an interest rate below 3%, which is good, but they had 26 years of mortgage payments left. Plus, due to some medical issues, they had about $30,000 in credit card debt. Switched over to the Life Changer Loan. They're going to pay off that mortgage, all that credit card debt, and both of their vehicles in just over 6 years. Proof of what can happen when you have all of your income working towards paying down all of your debt without any fear, because you always have access to your equity. This is what people are getting from Life Changer Loan, an innovative program that combines your banking with your mortgage. You pay all principal first. You get 24/7 access to your equity, which gives you the power to pay off, pay back, borrow back from yourself whenever you want. Lots of great features on a Life Changer Loan, but it's not for everybody. You've got to have the right set of financials. Highly recommend you find out if you're a good fit, because if you are, you're going to love the results. 480-504-0844, online at lifechangerloan.com.
Phoenix, Saturday Night Soccer is calling. Join Phoenix Rising on August 2nd at 7:30 p.m. as they take on Birmingham Legion in a can't-miss summer showdown. Enjoy the popular 4-3-3 menu with a $4 all-beef hot dog and $3 drink specials available all game long. Tickets start at just $15. Get yours now at phxrisingfc.com. Great food, great match, all for a great price.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Man, look at that Return of the Old King, man. Oh, wow. Emotional.
King of the Hill is back.
They got a Bob's in the airport now. Oh, that's Boba.
World has changed, Dad.
Bobby wants to bring that new girl over for dinner.
The Vegas? What the hell am I supposed to feed her?
Can't we just put some grass in a bowl?
From Mike Judge and Greg Daniels.
Ready to make some memories, Dad?
Let's freaking go.
A Hulu original series, King of the Hill. Season premiere August 4th. Streaming on Hulu.
Oh, hey.
Hey, thanks for meeting me here on such short notice. This place isn't bugged, is it?
Bugged? Wait, Jamie, what's going on?
It's just, you're my only lawyer friend, and I need your professional opinion. Do you see that brand new Hyundai Tucson out there?
Yeah?
That's all I paid for it.
I think I need to get back to you on that.
Do you know what you want?
Yeah, I do now.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. Get the car or SUV you've always wanted, plus America's best warranty at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. The guilt is real, but so is the savings.
Listen, I don't want to get in your business, but if that's all she paid for it, I'll have what she's having.
It's a great day for a new Hyundai at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event going on now. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Palisade, Santa Fe, and Santa Fe hybrid models. See your local Valley Hyundai dealer. Offers end July 31st. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
KMVP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Sammy Sabolka with what's trending now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electricals. More of the same from the Arizona Diamondbacks yesterday. Minimal offensive output that led to a 12-2 loss in Detroit yesterday. Brandon Pfaadt got touched up for 7 earned runs in the loss, but not a lot of time to think about it as the Snakes and the Tigers' first pitch from Detroit will be at 10:10 this morning, and you can hear it on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. As Cardinals training camp rolled on yesterday, Marvin Harrison Jr. joined Wolf and Luke yesterday and had this to say on the wide receiver room right now.
I think we're all just very eager to go out there and just prove ourselves, prove that we're one of the top receiver rooms in the NFL. And I love who we have in the room, really. I think, like I said it before, we all know our role, and we all take that role very seriously and kind of go from there.
The Cardinals are off today, but camp will continue tomorrow. This report is brought to you by Parker & Sons. Parker & Sons is there for your air conditioning needs. Beat the heat with their same-day service and never pay extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. Be sure you call Parker.
Bickley and Marana Mornings. Arizona Sports. The local sports leader. Bickley Blast.
Heads up, Kyler Murray. From this day forward, I am changing my stance on NFL preseason games. I am no longer a pragmatist. I no longer believe that your most valuable football players need to be shielded from meaningless exhibition games. I have flipped entirely. This year, I want the Cardinals starters to play one series in the first exhibition game and one quarter in the second exhibition. No exceptions, no coddling, no succumbing to abstract fears, because I have learned that fear and football cannot coexist. And more importantly, because the 2025 Cardinals need to be sharp and on point from the opening kickoff. They face an unenviable task in Week 1 where they'll be expected to beat the lowly Saints in New Orleans, favored to win a road game in a building that can be extremely hostile. They cannot stumble around for the first 20 minutes in New Orleans trying to find their rhythm. They also face Carolina at home in Week 2, essentially a must-win if the Cardinals are going to get serious about reestablishing home field advantage and making a playoff push. So the Cardinals need to pivot and participate in exhibition football, and that starts with K1, who sounds ready to embrace meaningless reps that are not meaningless at all, not anymore, because at the very least, playing in preseason games guarantees a better week of practice leading into that game, and because the Cardinals cannot afford to slow roll their way into football season the way our baseball team did. All right, today's Bickley Blast brought to you by my great friends at Chapman BMW, who make luxury attainable. Find them online at chapmanbmw.com.
I just do whatever I'm told, to be honest. I think last year, the year before that, obviously I was rehabbing, so the next year I'm not sure how they wanted to do that. I think we were going to play, actually, and some injuries might have occurred during camp, and that kind of affected what was going on. But, yeah, whatever JG wants us to do, I think we'll do.
That was Kyler Murray 2 days ago talking about whether or not he would like to play in the preseason
sort of a roundabout answer. Well, I'll do what Coach says, but I think we, meaning I guess he and his camp, because that is how these decisions get made in 2025. But I again, complete pivot from what I once believed about preseason football.
It's interesting, and I only went back to last year. And you remember the opening game. The Cardinals were very competitive. Many people thought they should have won that game on the road in Buffalo. They lose 34-28. That was Kyler Murray. I don't think he played badly. The statistics weren't eye-popping. That was his lowest yards per attempt all season long, 5.2 yards per attempt. There was a lack of connection, obviously, with Marvin Harrison Jr. in that game. He had one catch for 4 yards. Had they been able to be more productive in the past game, maybe they win that game. 270 total yards of offense. Just kind of not sloppy, just kind of a malaise over the offense in that game. So that's kind of interesting. And I kind of feel the same way. Your point on, I forget how you framed it exactly in the blast, the level of caution football can't come with fear. I think
fear and football cannot coexist.
Yeah.
That's kind of a truism that's my new mentality about this.
Yeah, I mean, once upon a time, preseason games were for sharpening up for the regular season.
Well, and again, it's what it does, and I talked to a couple of people about this who are advocates of playing in preseason football while being very aware of the risks. Because if you lose a key player in a meaningless football game, someone's going to pay for that. Because that's considered inexcusable. But as I was told, these preseason injuries don't happen all that often. The fear is very real, but they don't happen that often in the grand scheme. But the other thing that I was told that kind of pushed me over the top is just the machinations of getting ready for a game is going to make that entire week different for the most important players on your team. So if Kyler knows he's playing in a preseason game, he's going to go through the process of getting game ready. They're going to be sharper in practice, and you're going to get that benefit from it. And finally, somebody said, listen, would a Major League Baseball player ever go into a game without taking some batting practice? And again, you can't compare football and baseball.
Well, you could hurt yourself swinging the bat.
Yeah, well, you could, especially if you hit yourself over the head. Mm-hmm. But I think that this year, the difference is, and you're right, they came out of the gate last year and played fairly well in Buffalo. That was an entertaining game. It was a closer game than the Bills certainly thought it was going to be. The difference is the Cardinals have to win this game in New Orleans. They're going to be favored to win this game in New Orleans. The Saints are not good. So you cannot wait to find your rhythm on the fly. You cannot, I don't think you can afford to butcher 3 series in a row and squander a first quarter trying to get your football legs underneath you.
Well, this is where it gets kind of, I don't know, interesting to me is you mentioned it. Can you take the chance in a meaningless football game? Is it totally meaningless?
No.
The outcome is meaningless.
Yes.
The reps aren't. The preparation, anything you do to get ready for a season, by definition, in my estimation, can't be deemed meaningless.
Yeah. Yes, and that is the bridge that I have crossed, because up until now I thought it was lunacy to expose your best players to preseason football when the speed of preseason football isn't even the speed of regular season football, which isn't even the speed of playoff football. There are levels to this. And so my thinking had always been, what's the point? If you're not really simulating what week 1 is going to feel like, why would you take the risk of exposing a guy like Kyler Murray or James Conner or Marvin Harrison Jr.? I don't feel that way anymore. I think it's imperative that this team, and you know what else it is, Vinny? As was pointed out to me, the best coaches in football will not let their best players get away with not playing reps in the preseason. Andy Reid, look at the Chiefs. They all get some reps in. They all go through the process.
And nobody questions it.
I think for me, in that I've toggled with this similar to you, Bick, of I normally don't want my guys playing in meaningless football games because they can get hurt and then my season is down the drain. But I think it's more just kind of simulating what week 1 will look like. You go through your pre-game reps. You go through getting your team ready to go. And I don't need to see Kyler Murray go out there and throw the ball 6 or 7 times in a preseason game. I need him to just be ready for the actual game. Like
get the team in and out of the huddle.
Exactly.
Right. Just so it's not the week 1 can't be the first time these guys all do that.
Like to your point earlier of the offense not looking as sharp as it should in training camp, we should look as sharp as we can in week 1, and I think playing a preseason series will help that of, okay, Kyler is getting customary with his line, getting in out of the huddle. Like that stuff matters when the ball kicks off in New Orleans week 1.
It does.
Jonathan Gannon was asked about that subject yesterday at training camp for the Cardinals.
Tyler was asked yesterday if he would play in the preseason games. He said, I'll do whatever coach tells me to do. Have you even thought about...
Smart answer by him.
Have you even thought much about starters in preseason games?
Have I talked about it with them?
Yeah, or with you guys?
I haven't talked about it with the players yet. I talked to all the players about everything, but we'll make that decision when we need to.
Yeah, maybe they don't need to right now, but it is interesting to know both years under Jonathan Gannon, they've gone on the road, had flat offensive performances in their opener. 2 years ago against Washington, 210 yards. Last year against Buffalo. And both years, big uptick in week 2 offensively. Last year, they exploded against the Rams. The first year, they lost to the Giants, but they scored 28 points and put 379 yards on the board in week 2.
Interesting.
So that's something to look at from an offensive standpoint.
But the big difference, though, this year, again, expectations. The Cardinals are expected to be good this year.
Yes.
To be a winning team this year. So I think that changes the calculus. At least it does for me.
It's your last chance to join the Arizona Sports Fantasy Football Frenzy. Text FANTASY to 620-620. Battle your favorite host for bragging rights and the Fantasy Football Championship belt. The spots are filling up, so text FANTASY to 620-620 right now. Arizona Sports Fantasy Football Frenzy is presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Don't forget to book your own fantasy football draft party at DraftKings. Gambling problem, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Coming up next, lots of people wondering whether or not the Suns are done adding to their roster for 2025, but a report out today says they don't want to be done. We'll give you more information on that straight ahead. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings here on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Diamondbacks baseball.
Payoff. Swing and a miss. Alexander down on strikes. And Detroit's taking the first 2 in this series. They win tonight 12-2.
The MLB trade deadline looms, and we've got the series finale of Diamondbacks at the Tigers this morning at 9:30 on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
You've seen his face on billboards, Valley buses, commercials during Suns games. Sweet James is everywhere. It's a fun name and a fun brand. But know this, when you're hurt in an accident and it's game time, Sweet James plays to win. They are unstoppable in their pursuit of justice, and they are the heavy-hitting firm you need when dealing with those insurance companies. Sweet James Accident Attorneys, a world-class law firm with over 25 years of experience, more than 500 trials, over $2 billion recovered for accident victims. They've got a full in-house trial team, and that trial experience gives them great leverage when dealing with those insurance companies, which means they not only win 98% of their cases, big and small, it means they win big. It means you can expect maximum compensation from Sweet James. And remember, having the right attorney can mean the difference between a $2,000 check and a $2 million settlement. Sweet James delivers some of the biggest wins in America. So if you're hurt in an accident, do not settle for less. Call Sweet James at 1-800-9-MILLION. That's 1-800-900-0000. Online at sweetjames.com.
It's Jake Byrne from America Roofing here. We're more than just a roofing company. We care about our community. As a family-owned business, we're proud to support the Phoenix Children's Give-A-Thon by donating a portion of the repair and replacement proceeds to Phoenix Children's Hospital. We serve thousands of satisfied customers across Arizona since 1999, making us the state's largest roofing company. Trust America Roofing. We've got you covered. Schedule your free checkup at americaroofingco.com today.
The summer sales event is on at America's most awarded Ford dealership for complete customer satisfaction, Sanderson Ford. Now get a Ford Protect 2-year, 25,000-mile premium maintenance plan at no charge. Plus, big Sanderson discounts and Ford incentives. Get a new 2024 Escape ST line for only $26,599. New 2024 Bronco Sport Big Benz for $30,899. And new 2025 F-150 Super Crew STX trucks for $43,500. All 3 offers include the no-charge premium maintenance plan. Get it all with no hassle, no pressure, and no nonsense at Arizona's largest Ford dealership, Sanderson Ford. Thank you for your business over the past 70 years.
No-charge maintenance plan available on most models. Escape stock number 246582, Bronco Sport 245938, F-150 255193. Prices include Sanderson discounts and Ford rebates. All offers expire 9/2/25.
Sanderson Ford.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Celebrate the baseball season with Kilt Lifter from Four Peaks Brewing, the official beer partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Text SEATS to 620-620 for a shot at 4 tickets to the August 9th D-back Star Wars night game against Colorado. Courtesy of Four Peaks Brewing. Message and data rates may apply.
Arizona Sports Suns. A new horizon shaping the Suns' future this offseason with Bickley and Murata.
Jonathan Kuminga puts the Warriors up 6 again, 28-22. Now Durant throws a lazy pass stolen by Jackson Davis. Ahead to Kuminga, he'll jam it in transition. And almost a steal on the inbounds pass by Buddy Hield. Kevin Durant sulking a little bit as he comes into the forecourt.
There was one highlight.
Wow, that was quite something.
Kind of a snapshot from John Bloom about the 24-25 season for the Suns. Lazy pass, pickoff, dunk, sulking. There you go.
It was a tell-all right there.
But it's not. But look, basketball's not tennis. It's not Kevin Durant's fault, Vinny.
Where was the player receiving that pass, stepping to the ball? I was just looking for a Jonathan Kuminga highlight to play.
That's amazing. He went just searching for a Jonathan Kuminga highlight, and that's what pops up.
Yeah,
That's a good call from Bloomer.
Yeah.
Well done, Bloomer.
The Jonathan Kuminga story will not go away.
Mm-hmm.
It popped up as early as February when the Suns pivoted, when they were made aware that they were not going to be able to trade Bradley Beal at the deadline.
Yeah.
They still wanted Jimmy Butler. That didn't happen. Then they shifted their focus to Kevin Durant, and part of the package that was rumored to be coming back on the deal that Kevin Durant nixed to Golden State was Jonathan Kuminga coming to the Suns. Well, Jonathan Kuminga is now a restricted free agent. Recently, there has been reports out of the Bay Area that the Golden State Warriors, who have had a love-hate relationship with Jonathan Kuminga over his time in the NBA, have offered 2 years, $45 million. Now we'll take you back. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but the big problem with that offer from Golden State is that second year the Warriors want to be a team option, and Kuminga's camp is like,
Well, let's go back almost a week, 6 days now, to Shams Charania, who was talking about the pursuit of Jonathan Kuminga from other teams, including the Phoenix Suns. This is from ESPN's NBA Today.
I'm told the Phoenix Suns and the Sacramento Kings are two teams that have made concrete offers with the Warriors over the last week or so. They're two of the more aggressive teams with Kuminga, and they're also offering him an opportunity for significant minutes, a starting caliber role in their lineup, and those are two things that he wants more than anything. So where this is at, Vanessa, is the Warriors do not want anything, though, that is available to them, is being offered to them in sign and trades. And on the other hand, with Jonathan Kuminga, he is not ready to move forward with taking any of the Warriors' current offers. He's not in a hurry to do a deal there yet. And so 24 days into the offseason, it's a staring contest between these two sides that could continue much longer than just this month. And so we're nearing August and still no Warriors move so far this offseason.
There's news on this today from Shams Charania and Anthony Slater, who has been covering the Warriors for a while, new to ESPN, that Kuminga's side continues to decline that 2-year, $45 million contract offer. That Aaron Turner, who is the agent for Jonathan Kuminga, used some time in Las Vegas, presented the Warriors with a 3-year deal worth up to $82 million that would allow the Warriors to stay below the second apron to use the taxpayer mid-level exception. They have not accepted that as well. They used a lot of July so far to explore sign and trade offers. And that's where the Suns and possibly Kings, but Phoenix has made the most lucrative push via sign and trade, according to this article.
All right.
And the numbers were reported: 4 years, $90 million for Jonathan Kuminga. Still in a sign and trade scenario. The problem is Golden State doesn't want to trade because they don't like what's coming back from either side at this point.
Right.
The Suns could make things very difficult on Golden State. If they are really that hot and heavy after Jonathan Kuminga, you can sign him to an offer sheet, 4 years, $90 million. And that's a difficult situation because it would indicate, again, that it would be over the threshold for the second apron. Golden State would be hard-pressed to match that offer. And they also reported this morning that Golden State is signaling that they are basically going to eliminate sign and trade as a possibility in this scenario.
Wow.
So that might be the next move is the offer sheet from the Phoenix Suns.
That's what I was literally about to say, is if you really wanted, to your point, make things extremely kind of sweaty for Golden State, you'd put the offer sheet out there. If this is a player that you really see being a part of the Phoenix Suns' future. Again, he's 22 years old, doesn't turn 23 until the season starts.
And he's got 4 years in the league already.
Exactly. and at 4 years, $90 million, that's an average of $22.5 million. I'm sure it would probably differentiate by the year, but it's not like he's getting a max contract. And if you're the Warriors, you have Jimmy Butler, Draymond, and Steph, what are you going to tell yourself if you just let him walk like that?
It's interesting to me because it gets to it for me. It drives down into exactly what kind of player is Jonathan Kuminga. So he comes back. He missed 30 games last year.
He did.
He comes back from injury. The Warriors suddenly have Jimmy Butler, and now suddenly he is in a low usage, off ball reserve kind of role, which is nothing what he wants at all. And then for a while, there were little comments from Steve Kerr about how Jonathan Kuminga needs to kind of sharpen up these role-playing aspects of his game. Then they get into that series against the Timberwolves, who are a very good defensive team, and Jonathan Kuminga goes nuts.
Because Jimmy Butler got hurt.
Right.
Yeah, no Jimmy Butler there, and Kuminga's all of a sudden your second-best player behind. And Steph wasn't there either, so it's really...
And in the story I read in The Athletic on Jonathan Kuminga, the thing that I like is he's got a lot of ambition.
A lot of motor.
So there's a lot of things he wants. He wants to be a guy that is relied upon. He wants the minutes. He wants a heavy usage kind of role, which Phoenix can obviously give him. As a player, what do you think of him, Vinny, Sammy?
I think the athleticism has always been intriguing. And I look at what he did last year, and you mentioned it. After they got Butler, Kuminga didn't come back until March 13th from that injury. He didn't start any games the rest of the way. His numbers looked pretty good, and he was playing probably about anywhere from 18 to 25 minutes a game. The numbers that stand out to me were, you mentioned it, the last 3 games of the Minnesota series. The Warriors lost all 3 of those games. But Kuminga didn't start, played bigger minutes, 35, 29, and 32 minutes, scored 30, 23, and 26 on a high shooting percentage for the most part. He hit multiple threes. He's not much of a rebounder, but he's a guy, if the Suns were able to acquire him, I think he's a guy that becomes a starter.
Oh, immediately. Yeah.
And if not a starter, well... It depends, too, on what happens with the rest of the roster.
Sure.
I'll stick with that. I think he becomes a starting player.
I think
for $90 million, you have to.
I think this would be a Tyus Jones kind of deal. Yeah, not only just for the money, but I think to get him to come here, I think he would have to be promised that.
And listen,
that's interesting.
He's a guy that, for the Warriors, aside from Draymond Green, he would guard the other team's best player. And if you look at the Suns team and what Ishbia and Gregory and Jordan Knott have talked about all summer long, is this grittiness, this Suns outward culture they want to build. And again, he's a very young player that has had some ups and downs in the league. But what he does hang his hat on is he's going to play hard for you, and he's going to get downhill similar to Jalen Green. And if the jumper comes along, he's a guy that if he's your 3rd or 4th best player, you're doing something right. And that's the possibility in which Devin Booker and Jalen Green and a Jonathan Kuminga, and maybe down the road, whoever else we get, could be a possibility. And 22 years old, hasn't even sniffed his peak at $22 million a year. You have to really think about it.
Yeah, and historically, at least in recent Suns history, when these players are in rumors connected to the team for a year plus, they usually figure out a way to get that
make
player.
It happen?
Yeah. Happened with Durant, happened with Beal, much to their detriment. This has been lingering since February.
One thing I will say, he has, I guess in the article that I just read, he has a no trade clause. That's what
I don't think he does. I mean, because
I think that's what
Damian Lillard just got a contract. His contract with Portland includes a no trade clause. He's got the second one now because Beal's is done.
Maybe I'm reading this wrong. Kuminga's decision is due in large part to the Warriors' insistence on having a team option for the second season and their unwillingness to let him maintain the built-in no trade clause.
I'd have to look
Wow.
into that. I hadn't heard about
How
that.
would that be possible?
I don't know.
Huh.
Coming
Wow.
up next, lots of expectations on Kenny Dillingham's Arizona State Sun Devils. Can they repeat as Big 12 champions? We will talk college football with a former Sun Devil, current ESPN college football analyst. Brock Osweiler joins us straight ahead here on Bickley and Murata Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Get ready. Give-a-thon week runs August 18th through the 22nd.
Benefiting Phoenix Children's. Give-a-thon! Presented by your Valley Hyundai dealers and Ry-Refi.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here, and Parker & Sons is fantastic in your time of need. I realized that when I had a plumbing emergency in the middle of the night, called them at 4:30 in the morning, got a live person to answer the phone. By 8 a.m., they were at my house. I was incredibly impressed, but they're also great for preventative measures. I'm going to give you a few examples. The Captura Air Scrubber can greatly improve the air quality inside your home, and it makes a big difference because a lot of people do not know how much gunk is in the air inside their own home. Their reverse osmosis system / water softener, great too. It can improve the quality and the taste of your drinking water. And right now, in the middle of summer, getting your air conditioning tuned up is a great idea. An AC tune-up from Parker & Sons does a lot of great things, prolongs the life of your system, helps you save money on utility bills, up to $30 a month, and more importantly, gives you that peace of mind, because the last thing you want is to wake up inside an Arizona nightmare where it's the middle of summer and you find out your air conditioning is not working. Remember, Parker & Sons, the company you trust with all your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical needs, and all of their techs are trust certified, which means they're insured, licensed, bonded. They've all passed drug tests and background checks. They're the company you can trust in your personal space. Call 602-2-REPAIR. That's 602, the number 2, then REPAIR for Parker & Sons.
This is Greg Hagan. I want to put cash in your pocket. Do you care about getting the most for your home? Thousands of extra dollars in your pocket. Tens of thousands more. But what if you're currently trying to sell your home and it's sitting unsold? Your home is worth a lot more than you think. Want more for your home? More. More money. More money for your home. Hands down, you'll get a higher price for your home at 72sold.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren. I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio. What about commission-based products? We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio. What other services do you offer? As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more. Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need. At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey everybody, Dan Bickley here with a great opportunity for you to win tickets to the sold-out UMB Bank Fiesta Sports Foundation football kickoff event presented by the Fairmont Scottsdale Princess. This prize includes a VIP meet and greet with former Bears quarterback Jim McMahon, a 2-night stay at the Fairmont Scottsdale Princess, and a chance to hear me MC this awesome event on August 15th. Enter to win at arizonasports.com/contests.
This summer, you'll be loving Howard Lendon and America First Credit Union. Get new Visa credit cards with 0% intro APR for 6 months. Need a new ride? Get 90 days with no payments on new auto loans and 60 days no payments on RV and power sports loans. Our home equity loans start with an introductory 4.49% APR to refinance debt or take on that dream project. Start the summer fun now and your payments later. Apply today at americafirst.com or visit a branch. Subject to membership, eligibility, terms, creditworthiness, and conditions. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
Hi, this is Stuart Willis, President of Asset Preservation Wealth and Tax. A personal relationship with your financial advisor really matters. It's super important that you have the ability to talk about anything you need to with your advisor. So if you have been pushed off to a call center and you don't have a one-on-one relationship with your financial advisor, then reach out to us at assetpreservationwealth.com. That's assetpreservationwealth.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Foundations Investment Advisors, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
I'm Sammy Sabolka with what's trending now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. As NFL training camps are underway across the country, the Cardinals and newcomer Josh Sweat are really starting to come together as a team.
Sure, we all coming together. Yeah, that's the biggest. That message hasn't changed since I left. But it's just connect with each other, and we you know what I'm saying. We all care about each other, and we're gonna do it for one another.
Camp will roll on tomorrow for the Cardinals, and for more on training camp, head to ArizonaSports.com. With the MLB trade deadline now just a day away, some major chess pieces still remain on this D-backs ball club. Eugenio Suarez, Zach Gallen, Merrill Kelly, and perhaps some others are still Diamondbacks for now. But on the diamond, the Snakes continued their struggles against the Tigers last night in a 12-2 loss. They'll look to avoid the sweep this morning with Ryan Nelson on the mound. First pitch from Detroit will be at 10:10 a.m. right here on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. This report is brought to you by Parker & Sons. Parker & Sons is there for your air conditioning needs. Beat the heat with their same-day service and never pay extra for nights, weekends, or holidays. Be sure you call Parker.
Hey everybody, it's Bernsey. How many current Diamondbacks played their final game with Arizona today? We'll talk about it on the Burns and Gambo Show, 2 to 6 on Arizona Sports.
Yeah, we continue here on the Wednesday edition of Bickley and Murata Mornings. Believe it or not, we are about 3 weeks away from the beginning of college football season, about a month away from the Arizona State Sun Devils lacing them up for the first time against NAU. Here to talk Sun Devils and college football with us, ESPN college football analyst, and more importantly, former Sun Devil and NFL quarterback, Brock Osweiler, our guest here on the Arizona Sports Line. Brock, good morning.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good. We're talking in glowing terms about the defending Big 12 champion Sun Devils, which if you would have told me that we would be talking about this morning a year ago, I would have told you were nuts. But here we are because of what Kenny Dillingham and company have accomplished. Real broad question to start. The Big 12, we talked about the landscape in the Big 12, Brock. It's not top heavy, but it's very deep. How do you kind of shape up ASU's chances to repeat as champions this year?
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. You know, the competitive balance throughout the Big 12 conference this year is really impressive. You know, I think when you look at Arizona State and their chance to repeat as champs, you're going to say it's great, right? They return 17 starters from a team that already knows how to win a championship. They bring back their quarterback who's in talks for the Heisman Trophy. You have an All-American receiver. You can kind of go on and on and on. But then when you really dive into the conference and you start looking at what Texas Tech did in the offseason and who they return at quarterback, when you look at Baylor and how they finished the year, 6-game win streak in the regular season, and then a shootout with LSU. When you look at Kansas State, if they're able to put it together, you know, I really think that game between ASU and Kansas State in Manhattan, it was early November last year, and ASU jumped on them early in the first quarter. There were some turnovers. Sam played really, really well, threw a couple touchdowns. I really think that was the game that decided who was going to go to the Big 12 title between ASU and Kansas State. I think Kansas State will be right there again next year. And then there's Iowa State. You know, they're returning their quarterback, 3-year starter, ton of talent. There's Utah, and I can kind of go on and on. You're starting to get the drift of what the Big 12 conference looks like this year. So, yeah, on paper, you would say ASU has a fantastic chance to, you know, be back-to-back champions, but they're going to have their work cut out for them.
Brock, I'm curious, quarterback to quarterback, give us your scouting report, what you think of Sam Leavitt.
I think he's outstanding. I really do. You know, this might be going out on a limb, but I think he has proven this on the field, so it's really not going out on a limb. I think he has a chance to go down as the best Sun Devil to ever play quarterback. Wow. I really do believe that. You know, if you think about the fact that he's only a sophomore and he has an opportunity for 3 more full seasons as the starter, think about what he can accomplish. Think about what he's already accomplished. You know, I think the thing that makes him such a great player, there's 2 things. First and foremost, I think it's confidence that he exudes. I really think it's infectious throughout the entire team. You know, you can see that swagger and that chip on his shoulder that he plays with, and I really think his teammates and the coaching staff feed off of that in a positive way, and it makes the entire team better. And that's what the best quarterbacks do. They elevate their teammates and their team. And then the other thing I see with Sam, and why I say I think he could potentially go down as the best to ever wear that uniform, is he gets better every single week. So what that says to me is obviously he's willing to be coached, and he takes coaching really well, and he has a couple great coaches around him. You know, between Kenny, Marcus Arroyo, the offensive coordinator, I think he's an outstanding football mind. And then don't forget, you have a guy in Hines Ward coaching the receivers that's one of the best to ever play the wide receiver position in the NFL. So he's surrounded by a great group of coaches. His talent obviously jumps off the charts. I think he's faster than what most defenses give him credit for, and you see that because of the plays he makes on third down, extending plays outside the pocket, getting first downs. You know, when defenses think they have an angle on him, you know, he'll beat them to that first down marker. So, listen, I think sky's the limit for Sam. He's a ton of fun to watch. He's a great kid, and I'm happy he's a Sun Devil.
Brock Osweiler, our guest here on Bickley and Murata Mornings as we talk college football. We had the discussion a few weeks ago, Brock, that in ASU football history, and kind of along the lines of what you said about Sam, maybe being the best ever when he's all said and done, he's also like the first legitimate preseason Heisman candidate that the Sun Devils have had in a really long time, because historically Jake Plummer wasn't a preseason Heisman candidate. Cam Scatterbo wasn't a preseason Heisman candidate, although they finished strong. How distracting potentially could that be for a quarterback who quite honestly hasn't played that much college football?
Well, it could be very distracting, but in Sam's case, I don't think it is, you know, and he's proven that. You know, think about all the noise around the football program last year. You know, the way it started, there was the noise was all negative, if you will. Yeah. You know, how bad are the Sun Devils going to be? Are they going to finish last? Are they going to finish second to last? And he was able to drown all of that out and focus on what truly mattered and put together a special season. And then as the season went along, and the hype and the noise and the conversations in the media and locally got louder and louder and louder, he started playing his best football. So I think in a lot of ways, Sam probably uses that for fuel. I think he uses that for motivation, you know, almost even as a challenge. And so I don't think that conversation is too big for Sam.
Brock, I think you had a really interesting career. Clearly, you set Denver up for that Super Bowl win in Super Bowl 50. A lot of people think you kind of got jobbed out of that starting quarterback position. You had that incredible win over Tom Brady and the Patriots in that run. You went to Houston. Things didn't go well. I remember reading that you had a cable man come to install cable in Arizona, and he was a Texans fan, and he told you, "I don't like you, dude." So I'm curious, how do you look back on your NFL career? And what does it mean to you from a pride standpoint to see ASU kind of get this new elevation in college football?
You know, it's a really loaded question, but simply put, I would say this. I am grateful for the time and experiences that I got, whether it was in college football or pro football. You know, I look back and I think there's been so many fantastic football players that, whether it was due to circumstance, or an injury or some other bad fortune of luck, you know, they didn't get the 7 years in the National Football League that I did, or the 1 year of being a starter at Arizona State. Sure. I would be lying if I said I didn't. You know, when I look back at ASU and you say, gosh, it was only 1 year, heck yeah, I'd love to come back and play for that senior year, looking back a little bit, and, you know, try to cement my legacy as a Sun Devil. And to think about what we could accomplish. But then if you look at why I left, well, the entire coaching staff was fired and this, that, and the other. And then so it seemed like the best opportunity was to go to the NFL. And so that's how my story at ASU ended. And then you go to the NFL, and, yeah, I'd be lying if I didn't say, yeah, shoot, I wish I was still playing. And I wish I had a 15-year career and won a bunch of Super Bowls as a starter and this, that, and the other. But that's just not how it goes. You know, college football is hard. The National Football League is hard. So much about having success at those levels is about finding yourself in the right situation at the right time. And, put it this way, I have no regret on anything. I worked as hard as I could every single day. My main goal as a football player was always to be a great teammate. That was number one. And so I can walk away from my time at ASU, I can walk away from my time in the NFL and say, hey, I know I checked that box. And once again, I receive more than most people ever will when it comes to those. So, like I said, you always want more. You wish you got to play more games. You wish you were able to, cement a legacy. And that's what I'm saying about Sam. Sam gets 3 more years as the starting quarterback at ASU if he wants it. And that's special. Think about that. If he truly stays for the next 3, he's going to have a chance to push for, 12,000, 13,000, 14,000 career yards, maybe even more, 100-plus touchdowns. And that's what I'm saying. He has an opportunity to cement himself as one of the greatest, if not the greatest, to come out of Tempe, which is really special.
Brock, great to talk to you.
Stuff,
Thanks so
Brock.
much for joining us. Hopefully we can chat during the season as well.
Anytime, guys. Thank you for having me.
All right, thanks. That's Brock Osweiler, college football analyst for ESPN, who did something at ASU that no Bears quarterback has ever done. He threw for 4,000 yards in a single season.
He was fantastic.
He joined us on the Arizona Sports Line. Coming up next, when it comes to one Arizona Cardinal, everybody's talking about muscle and bulk. We'll tell you what that Arizona Cardinal had to say on those subjects and more next. It's Bickley and Murata Mornings. Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Cardinals Training Camp 2025. The Red Reckoning. The Red Reckoning. 90 players enter State Farm Stadium at the beginning of camp. Only 53 can earn a spot on the final roster. Motor and violence. Training camp coverage presented by Bud Light. The Red Reckoning. On your exclusive home for Arizona Cardinals football. Arizona Sports 98.7. The app. YouTube channel. ArizonaSports.com.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
You've heard the saying, it's hard to stop a train. When it comes to putting smiles on children's faces at the Phoenix Children's Hospital, nothing will get in the way when the Teddy Bear Express pulls into town. Train is the proud sponsor of this year's Give-a-thon, giving hundreds of teddy bears to children currently undergoing treatment at PCH. For the past 9 years, Train's commitment ensures that every child's journey through treatment is accompanied by a comforting companion, reminding them they're not alone in their fight.
Draft season is here, and there's no better place to kick it off than DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale. Join Burns and Gambo and your favorite Arizona sports host for the Arizona Sports Fantasy Football Draft Party, Friday, August 8th from 2 till 6. And don't forget, you can book your own fantasy football draft party at DraftKings Sportsbook. Enjoy a reserved space, a custom DraftKings draft board, and personalized food and drink packages for your whole league. DraftKings Sportsbook at TPC Scottsdale, the place to be this football season. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP.
In baseball, numbers matter. Every stat is tracked, every play analyzed, but numbers alone, they don't win games. And they don't build a secure financial future either. Hi, I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and we're proud to be the financial team behind a personalized plan for our hometown baseball manager, Tori Lovello.
Tori here. You're spot on, Jeff. Good numbers help, but it's teamwork that wins. It's about building trust, understanding goals, and creating a legacy.
At Trajan, we go beyond the numbers. We build real relationships and customize investment strategies so you can enjoy life today and feel secure about tomorrow.
It's a relationship, and that's why I chose Trajan Wealth. Call today to build your personalized plan. 480-990-3300. That's 480-990-3300. Trajan Wealth. Plan smarter, dream bigger.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Paid advertisement.
A summer, it can be a four-letter word in Phoenix. We get it. No, not during the Ford Summer Sales Event going on right now at our Desert Ford dealers. Yep, it is here, and it is a great time to buy a Ford. Paul Calvisi here. That is exactly what we did late last summer. Bought my wife a brand new Ford Explorer at our Desert Ford dealers. My daily driver, my Ford Edge. Love the versatility, the capability. And you know what? Check out Ford's full lineup, because during the Summer Sales Event, it is on, like the legendary Ford F-Series trucks with all that capability you need to get the job done, or a tech-savvy SUV like the all-new 2025 Ford Expedition with that Ford digital experience and panoramic 24-inch display. And don't forget the Bronco family, making adventure more epic every time you go out on the road. Work or play, the power is yours. Or get plugged in, or do a little bit of both. But hurry, the Ford Summer Sales Event won't last forever at our Desert Ford dealers. Click buyfordnow.com.
The Red Reckoning. The Red Reckoning. Your exclusive home for Arizona Cardinals football. Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. Training camp coverage presented by Bud Light. Bickley and Murata talk Cardinals training camp now.
Marv looks, 6'6", 260, pure muscle. Screen said he was like 6'3", 220, but I don't know what they're built like. They haven't been that up close. When I seen that, it's kind of the joke when he comes in the huddle, we start to yell, 12 personnel. And then he's like, he's about to run out. And I'm like, no, we're kidding, it's 11. But that's just our joke that we do. We're not going to try that in a game day. That might mess up the timing.
That's Paris Johnson Jr. earlier this week talking about the fun they're having with the new and improved Marvin Harrison Jr. 12 personnel, by the way, in case you know. It's one running back, two tight ends, right? So the joke is that he's too big to be a wide receiver at this point.
Right.
He's a tight end.
Right, he's a tight end.
A lot to talk about the Marvin Harrison Jr. physique, the glow up, if you will. To use the terminology that the kids are using.
Oh, boy.
Which I very rarely do. Marvin Harrison Jr. himself was a guest of Wolf and Luke yesterday here on Arizona Sports as they broadcast live from Cardinals training camp. Big Red Reckoning. Or is it just Red Reckoning? Not big? Whatever. Here was Marvin Harrison Jr., too. Was the idea to add the muscle all his idea?
That started with me. I'm evaluate myself and place myself to a very high standard. So any time that you don't have the success you know you're capable of, got to go back to the drawing board and figure out, okay, where can I get better? Where can I improve? And I feel like it started with my body, starts there. And then obviously, everything else is going to kind of take care of itself as, the skill sets and, developing, my abilities on the field. But I started there and kind of went from there.
And whether or not he has personal goals for the season?
Yeah, I certainly have goals. I just, choose not to share them too much. But for me, it's just like my goals begin with the team first and foremost. So obviously, they drafted me here to help the team. And, so at the list of my goals, whatever the numbers may be, at the top is always just help the team win. So that's what starts with me.
Smart way to approach it. Any player that this time of the year starts talking about their individual goals for statistics and whatnot usually comes off a little bit tone deaf, a little bit self-centered. Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't strike you that way.
The exception might be the year that Tyrann Mathieu had a list in his locker. Remember that? Of like 10 goals, and they were really, really lofty kind of things, and he darn near got them all.
There is that.
So, but I do agree with you. I think when you put that stuff out in the ether, it probably has much more chance of harming you than helping you.
Yep.
Totally agree with that.
And we get closer and closer with all the reports you hear, everything you read, everything you see on social media about Marvin Harrison Jr., what he's done in training camp, with the caveat, yes, it's just training camp. It's impossible not to get excited to see what year 2 of him looks like.
No doubt about it. It's one of the primary reasons for excitement. The change in him physically, is it going to equate to a change of him between the lines? Is he going to become an unstoppable kind of force at wide receiver?
Mm-hmm. Elsewhere around the NFL, lots of eyeballs on the Cleveland Browns and their quarterback situation. We know it's not Deshaun Watson. We know Kenny Pickett is injured.
Mm-hmm.
We know they've got Joe Flacco and Dylan Gabriel, but they also have Shedeur Sanders. And he's been one of the more talked about players so far, league-wide, really since draft day. He falls to day 3 in the draft. It was a weird story. It was obviously the reasons for it were whatever. But he's in a situation now where by the day, Bick, it seems to be growing sentiment that he could be a legit day 1 starting candidate for the Cleveland Browns at quarterback.
What's interesting to me is because I did not like a lot of the stuff I had heard about Shedeur Sanders coming into the NFL, the entitlement, all of it. Okay, the privilege, being immortalized by Colorado for. What was their record? You know what I'm talking about.
Not great.
Not great. Okay, but
having his number retired, but before he ever played an NFL game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so when you look at Shedeur Sanders, and then he had a couple of speeding tickets, an issue in which did not make his new bosses happy. But ever since then, what I have read and what I have heard is he's really dedicated to putting in the work and proving that he is worthy of reps. So he's barely getting any, or he was barely getting any early in camp. And so Deion Sanders at his press conference the other day kind of told the story about how he told Shedeur, "You want me to come on up there and be with you?" And he's like, "No, Dad, you stay there. I've got a job to do here, and I've got to work, and I'm willing to work and fight for my reps. And when I get a chance to play in preseason football, that's when they'll know that I've put the work in." And I admired that. For the first time, I stepped back and went, okay, there's a sense of accountability with this kid. There might be more to him than I thought.
Yeah, I mean, it started early on, too. The way he reacted to falling to the 5th round of the draft was pretty commendable.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't sulk about it.
No.
He said all the right things when he got to Cleveland's training camp. He said, "Look, I'm not here to prove people wrong. I'm here to prove myself right." Then training after OTAs, then training camp starts. And there was a story. I don't know if you saw this story too. It's little things that kind of stand out to a lot of people. The area of training camp where players do their post-practice interviews, I guess all the players show up there.
Uh-huh.
So there was a veteran player doing an interview with a media scrum. Shedeur Sanders walked in to get set up for his interview, and most of the media scrum noticed his presence and moved away from the veteran. And when they approached Shedeur Sanders to interview him, he said, No, go finish that one first, and then you come talk to me. I don't want to disturb anything. I don't want to distract him from his interview."
Wow.
Interesting. For a guy who's been labeled as entitled, and look, he's been in the spotlight for a long time, as his dad's been in the spotlight for 30-plus years in American sports culture. Entitlement kind of comes with the territory. That's not the action of an entitled individual.
No, not at all. So I think that's interesting, and he does have a chance to win that job because it's Cleveland after all.
It is. I mean, I still expect it to be Flacco day 1.
Yeah.
Probably with a little runway for Shedeur.
Yeah.
But speaking
that
of
makes
preseason
sense.
stats, I ran across somebody. Hey, Shedeur Sanders is 9 for 9 at Cleveland Browns practice with 2 touchdown passes. He's cooking.
Right. There you go. Finally, before we get out of this break, I want to bring up Cam Scatterbo because his first padded practice with the Giants was legendary. Giants fans already adore this kid. He has talked about how it's been painful for him the last few months to see those shoulder pads sitting in his locker, and it was great to finally put him back on. And he said his goal is to score touchdowns and run over people, Vinny. So the Cam Scatterbo legend, I hope it becomes one, as we are all huge fans of his. But this is something that I kind of take offense to. So the top 10 rookie ratings for Madden have come out. Travis Hunter is an 84. Ashton Genty's 83. It goes all the way down to Maxwell Hairston, who's a 78. Cam Scatterbo's only a 73 on Madden.
I'm not a Madden player, but I'd want to play with him.
4th round pick, right? That's what they're basing it on.
Is that what it is?
Probably.
It's rigged. Are you drafting Cam Scatterbo in our fantasy draft? Is that what I'm hearing?
I see. I do draft when I have played fantasy football. I do draft with my heart way too much. See, I want a team of guys I like.
See, that's why fantasy football. I know you guys haven't played or don't play, but you can do it so many different ways for you guys. Like, I have drafted teams of guys that I just really enjoy to root for. And
That's it, yeah.
That's often more fun than trying to figure out the ADP or the projected points. Like,
it's true.
That's another reason why fantasy football is great for many reasons. Of when I was growing up, the Cardinals had tough seasons, and I could be like, okay, I got my fantasy guys I can root for.
Vic, when we were playing, there was a pick you made early in the draft one year that people were like, what? Do you remember who it was?
I do remember that being a fact. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah, we got to rack our brains to remember who that was.
Well, I thought you knew. I was going to guess.
No, I just remember it happening.
N'Keal Harry?
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
Last chance to join the Arizona Sports Fantasy Football Frenzy. Text fantasy to 620-620 and battle your favorite host for bragging rights and the Fantasy Football Championship belt. Spots are almost gone, so text fantasy to 620-620. Right now, the Arizona Sports Fantasy Football Frenzy, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Don't forget to book your own fantasy football draft party at DraftKings. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Coming up next, Sammy's going to take us through some social studies here on the Wednesday edition of Bickley and Murata Mornings, Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons.
So what they have now is they've got Devin Booker at the starting point guard. They got Colin Gillespie as the backup. They have Jordan Goodwin as the number 3 guy. And then they're also looking at bringing in Jared Butler, non-guaranteed contract, okay, to compete with Goodwin and to see which guy could be the number 3 guy. So that is what they are looking to do.
Burns and Gambo, afternoons 2 till 6 on Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
If you didn't think skipping breakfast was a big deal, you'd be right. Before. But now, Wendy's has Buck Biscuits. We're talking sausage, egg, and cheese biscuit, bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit, or even the Honey Buddy Chicken Biscuit for just $1 each. Seriously, you can get all 3 if you want. They're just $1, so you'll never skip breakfast again. If you're smart. Breakfast for $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. Limit 5 qualifying items per transaction. Not valid in the combo while supplies last.
It isn't just any Ford dealer. It is Tim Hovick, Santan Ford, and they're reimagining affordability. We're talking lease deals for $399 a month and 0 down on the brand new 2025 Mustang GT, the Escape, and even Bronco Sport. Just sign and drive with a payment real folks can afford. Tim Hovick, Santan Ford, and Gilbert. The summer sale is on. Some restrictions apply, and there's a $649 dock fee. But you got that, man. Affordability is back in style. I am Santan Ford.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
A lot of personal injury lawyers make claims about how good they are. But how do you know who's the best? Who will fight to get you the money you deserve? At Berg Simpson, important, we don't rely on simple claims like other firms. We have 28 best lawyers in America, 17 super lawyers, and we're one of the National Trial Lawyers' top 25 most influential law firms. Compare us to other firms, then call Berg Simpson.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 602-777-7000. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers, changing lives.
When was the last time you hopped out of bed without that knee or back screaming at you? Or walk down a flight of stairs without groaning, step by step? Let me guess, this is in the back of your mind. Maybe it'll disappear. I'll just tough it out. But nothing changes. It's time to call and schedule that free consultation with the medical pros at QC Kinetics. There are thousands of patients who will tell you they wish they would have done it sooner. They turned around their lives with QC Kinetics regenerative treatments that work with your body to help restore and repair damaged joint tissue. Natural cellular therapies. No scalpels, no pills. Bring your x-rays and MRIs to QC Kinetics for a free, no-pressure evaluation to see if you're a good candidate. Give QC Kinetics a call for your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics now with clinics in Phoenix, Scottsdale, Peoria, and Chandler. 602-837-PAIN. That's 602-837-PAIN.
KMBP FM Phoenix.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
On the Arizona Sports app and on 98.7.
I'm Sammy Sobolka with what's trending now, presented by Parker & Sons Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. It was more of the same from the Arizona Diamondbacks yesterday. Minimal offensive output that led to a 12-2 loss in Detroit. Brandon Pfaadt got touched up for 7 earned runs in the loss, but not a lot of time to think about it as the Snakes and the Tigers' first pitch will be at 10:10 this morning, and you can hear it on Arizona Sports, 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app. As Cardinals training camp rolled on yesterday, Marvin Harrison Jr. joined Wolf and Luke yesterday to talk about the wide receiver room as of now.
I think we're all just very eager to go out there and just prove ourselves. Prove that we're one of the top receiver rooms in the NFL. And I love who we have in the room, really. I think, like I said it before, we all know our role, and we all take that role very seriously and kind of go from there.
The Cards are off today, but camp will continue tomorrow. This report is brought to you by the Berg Simpson Law Firm. Injured? Call the Berg Simpson Law Firm or visit bergsimpson.com. Good lawyers, changing lives.
Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Bickley and Murata Mornings. Social Studies. Brought to you by HigherPrice.com. Carol Royce, your home sold guaranteed realty.
All right, let's turn it back over to Sammy. Take us through some social studies on this Wednesday.
Yeah, good morning. We're at Bickley_Murata on X, where I'll post all our questions daily. We're at Bickley and Murata on Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook, and Arizona Sports on YouTube. Okay, the first thing I want to talk about, I have 3 good questions for us, but something I saw on social media today involved the Miami Heat, and that millions and millions of dollars worth of Miami Heat memorabilia, including game-worn finals jerseys, were stolen and sold on the black market from Miami Heat organization, and they're saying it's one of the one of the biggest sports heists we've ever seen.
Wait, you said the Heat sold it themselves?
No,
stolen.
Stolen from them.
Oh, okay.
Millions and millions of dollars of Heat memorabilia from the Miami Heat organization. I found that really, really crazy. I'm a big heist movie guy, so that's the reason.
You want one on the the stealing of Udonis Haslam's Game 4 warm-ups?
Hey, I it'd be pretty good. Make for a good Netflix movie. But our first question, it'll involve the Diamondbacks. Sadly, they've been disappointing really all year, but especially the last week and a half. So what is one phrase or saying that would explain your Diamondbacks disappointment?
Probably that old movie line, "Oh no, we suck again!"
Yeah, true.
Which that character also showed up in Happy Gilmore too.
Happy Gilmore, yeah, right.
You can do it.
That's a pretty good one. 2 years ago, we weren't even yet wrapped up in full World Series push mode. There was still a lot of hand-wringing going on about the Diamondbacks, but at least there was a payoff to it.
Yeah.
It just seems like this year's going down the drain.
Yeah. Dante said, I like this one. It's the playoffs? Are you kidding me? Playoffs? Yeah, that's a good one.
You haven't heard me mention anything about the wild card standings in a really long time.
Really long time. And then Bordertown Kid said, it's like opening an overly inflated bag of chips to only find 2 good ones, and the rest are crushed and crumbled. That's pretty well done. So our next question is, we like to compare the Sun Devils and the Arizona Cardinals recently, given the fact that they have expectations. The seasons haven't started yet. So which team has a better chance to meet or exceed their expectations this season, and why? Is it the ASU Sun Devils or the Arizona Cardinals?
By the way, that says Sun Devilis. Just pointing that out. I always call out Jarrett when he misspells something, so I got to call out you guys too.
That's fair.
Sun Devils meeting or exceeding their expectations, or the Cardinals? It's got to be the Cardinals by definition, doesn't it?
I think it is.
Because their expectations going into the season are going to be, even locally, are going to be so much lower.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the Cardinals have a manageable schedule. I don't think there's anything particularly difficult about it. There are some teams that have got incredibly difficult schedules. The New York Giants are one of them. I think the Cardinals, schedule-wise, the nature of the NFL, I just think there's some magic to what ASU pulled off last year that I don't know how you account for that this year.
Yeah.
And the Sun Devils team is loaded. 17 returning starters, great quarterback-wide receiver combo, great leadership, great coaching staff. There's a lot to love, but I just think I think it's going to be easier for the Cardinals than it will be for the Sun Devils.
Yeah, and the voting is a little bit closer than I thought it would have been. The Cardinals received 54% of the vote. The Sun Devils 46% of the vote, and CBacker44 says we have local hopes for the Cardinals, but it isn't widespread nationally, so they have a better chance. ASU has at least some outside national hype and hope. For Peak Sports says, with ASU having such a slim margin for error, I believe that it's the Cardinals. For example, ASU is favored in all 12 games, like we mentioned. Going 12-0 seems extremely difficult, and that we'd be thrilled with a 10-2 season and another chance at the conference title. So I think it also has to do with weathering the type of expectation both teams have.
I like Sonoris's response too. I've been a Cardinals fan for too long and know better. It's ASU.
But you could say the same thing for ASU.
You could. I was thinking the same thing, Sammy.
So our last question, we talked at the beginning of the show about the PGA Tour Canada player having the shortest possible putter you could have in PGA regulations. So it sparked the question, what sports equipment do you think is unnecessary or very weird?
First of all, I love Dave Damashek's answer. He
Yeah.
chimed in and said it's loco that most football players don't wear an athletic cup.
Had that one written down. That does blow my mind.
That's very good. I was going to guess Kalia Copper's wig.
Is that really sports equipment, though?
No, not necessarily.
Accessories.
It was a funny highlight, though.
I mean, there was more unnecessary equipment thrown on the floor last night at a WNBA game.
That is true. That is very true.
Most unnecessary. Do we really need oven mitts to slide into second base?
Hey, you got to protect those fingers.
When I was younger and even playing a lot of baseball / softball, and I did slide, I never ever attempted a head first slide. I never learned the way to do it, and it always just seemed like it would hurt a lot more body parts than sliding feet first.
I loved doing it. Just get all dirty.
I don't know what you think about this, Sammy, but and somebody put this on there too. I've always thought this. Do you really need soft spike golf shoes? Do they really do anything?
Like, I think I have soft spiked golf shoes.
Most everyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Not that it helps my handicap by any means. Jimbo says the 1-bar helmet back in the NFL.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, and then
I just love the fact that there was players that wouldn't give those up.
No, they don't.
Scott Player.
Fred Biletnikoff.
Daylight Films has a good answer. Managers and coaches in baseball wearing a uniform. Put
It is
on
really dumb when you think about it.
That's really
so dumb, I have to say. And then Diego Rivera says pictures or logos that teams use in football games for plays. What the heck are they talking about? I would like to know. Like when they hold up the sign, it's like a sandwich with a X through it. Like there's got to be better ways.
It's meaningless to us on the outside. Very meaningful for those who are getting the message.
Or is it? Maybe.
I mean, that's their terminology.
It's a ply.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
with headset communication now in college football, you don't see it as much.
You don't see it as much. And then C. Backer said wide receiver gloves. Either catch the ball with your hands or not, or otherwise bring back stickum. I don't know what stickum was. I feel like it's some tar.
It was outlawed in the early 80s by the NFL. All right.
Good stuff, Sammy.
Thanks, Sammy. Social studies every morning at 9 o'clock. You can take us with you wherever you go. If you can't catch us live, find us on demand on the Arizona Sports app at arizonasports.com or wherever you get your podcasts. The Bickley and Marotta Show podcast brought to you by YRefi. Don't let private student loan debt ruin your life. Go to YRefi.com. That's YREFY.com. D-backs wrapping up their series in Detroit in a matter of moments, really. We'll get you ready for it. And D-backs on deck next. It's Bickley and Marotta Mornings, Arizona Sports, the local sports leader.
Diamondbacks baseball.
Payoff. Swing and a miss. Alexander down on strikes. And Detroit's taking the first two in this series. They win tonight 12-2.
The MLB trade deadline looms, and we've got the series finale of Diamondbacks at the Tigers this morning at 9:30 on Arizona Sports 98.7 and the Arizona Sports app.
Do not be surprised if you see a Turf Monsters vehicle rolling through your neighborhood, because Turf Monsters is everywhere, from Queen Creek to Cave Creek, from Buckeye to Apache Junction, all the way up to Black Canyon City. Their landscapers have been serving satisfied customers in the greater Phoenix area since 2018, and they can do a whole bunch of things for you. Landscape lighting, outdoor lights, traditional landscaping, outdoor pergolas, natural grass for dogs or for kids, hardscapes like patios and sidewalks, customized fire pits, built-in barbecue grills, state-of-the-art putting greens. No matter what the project, they love helping customers create personalized outdoor retreats. Turf Monsters also has a great reputation for professionalism, for doing what they say they're going to do, for showing up on time. Highly recommend you go to their website, check out samples of their work. You can also see near 1,000 five-star reviews from customers who have used Turf Monsters and are very happy they did. You can schedule that free estimate online at turfmonstersaz.com or give them a call. Tell them I sent you. 623-263-7388 for Turf Monsters.
The Force is strong with this one. Star Wars Night at Chase Field is Saturday, August 9th. Arrive early to get the Corbin Carroll Star Wars Bobble, courtesy of Cox. Visit dbacks.com for tickets.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Why should you hire America's largest injury law firm for your case? There's lots of reasons. Just like there's a reason millions of people called us last year in their time of need. When it comes to fighting for justice and compensation, millions of people across the country trust us to go to battle for them. We became the largest injury law firm in the world for a reason. There's only one Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com. Injured? Dial #law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
At the UPS store, we understand the importance of a first impression. That's why we're here to help you put your best foot forward and be unstoppable with our printing services. With high-quality paper stock options, banners, business cards, menus, and more, we make sure your small business stands out and your message reaches the masses. After all, we're the one-stop Prints That Pop store. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, prices, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS store. Be unstoppable. Come into your local store today and get your print on.
This is Greg Hagan. I want to put cash in your pocket. Do you care about getting the most for your home? Thousands of extra dollars in your pocket. Tens of thousands more. But what if you're currently trying to sell your home and it's sitting unsold? Your home is worth a lot more than you think. Want more for your home? More money. More money for your home. Hands down, you'll get a higher price for your home at 72sold.com.
At Sonic, we've unleashed the pickle with our Big Dill Meal, a Sonic smasher with Grillo's pickles and Dilly Ranch. Nice, you'd think, but there's more. It comes with pickle seasoned tots. You think, oh, we're pickling now. Thirsty? Good. Try the Pickle Rita Slush. you realize we've hit the edge of pickledom. But that Pickle-Rita slush is filled with pickle-flavored bubbles. Welcome to the deep pickleverse, friend. The Sonic and Grillo's Big Deal Meal. Live free, eat Sonic.
Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
Dave Burns here with Liberty GMC General Manager Chris Scott. Chris, the Hummer EV is a game changer, and I hear you have 4th of July savings all month long.
What's up, Dave? For a limited time, you can lock in 0% financing for 60 months or save up to $15,750 off on the all-new Hummer EV. That's serious long-term savings on an unmatched electric vehicle, making it the perfect time to take the leap.
Ben Franklin would go electric on the 4th of July. Shop and buy online anytime at libertygmcaz.com. GMC, we are professional grade.
Protein, protein, protein. Everyone is trying to get protein in their diet, but we need fats too. Healthy fat, that is, like the rich, natural peanut and almond butters found in G2G protein bars. Most bars don't have it because, well, most bars aren't real food or refrigerated. Fortunately for you, we aren't most bars. At G2G, you'll find a balanced helping of protein and healthy fat. The fact that they're delicious is just a bonus. They're fast, easy, and perfect for on-the-go families. G2G protein bars. Find them in the refrigerated section at Costco or your local Bashes.
Arizona Sports, the home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. We're checking in on the Diamondbacks as they warm up for the game's first pitch. D-backs on deck, brought to you by Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic. And by 72 Sold. 72 Sold. Get a higher price for your home.
Yeah, Diamondbacks trying to avoid the sweep at Comerica Park in Detroit against the Tigers today in a game that gets underway at 10:10. Time for some D-backs on deck, and we'll start with some developments in the starting lineup. We learned about these earlier in the morning. After missing yesterday, following x-rays, getting hit on Monday, Eugenio Suarez is in the lineup. He's in the cleanup spot. He is DHing in what, quite honestly, Bick, could be his last game as an Arizona Diamondback.
I would think that it would be. If they're going to trade him, I'm kind of surprised they're playing him, to be honest. But maybe teams that are dealing for him want to know that he is healthy with their own eyes and not just the Diamondbacks' word.
But I will say this, and we've loved watching Gino Suarez hit this year.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't exactly look healthy at the plate before he got hit on the hand. He's really, really struggling right now.
Yeah, and so maybe that day off allows him to clear the mind a little bit. And like we talked about, I'm not sure whether or not it's because the team is slumping and he feels great accountability for that offensively, or whether it's just all the noise has finally gotten to him.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr. back in the lineup in left field, hitting 5th today. No Alec Thomas, no Jake McCarthy, Jorge Barrosa getting the start in center field, batting 9th. Now it's time to take a look at today's pitching matchup. It's brought to you by the Window Depot. More than a window store. Visit one of their 4 Valley locations where you can find everything you need for your home remodel. For the Diamondbacks, it is their best pitcher, Ryan Nelson, on the mound today. And I said it earlier, and I truly believe the second straight year Ryan Nelson has become the Diamondbacks' best pitcher in the second half of the season. He is 6-2 this year with a 3.29 ERA. In his last 8 starts, he's 4-0. The Diamondbacks are 7-1. He's got an ERA under 2 at 1.99 with 35 strikeouts and 13 walks.
Yeah, I expect that to kind of amplify that point, I expect Ryan Nelson to be sensational today, just like he was in the back half of last year and just like he's kind of morphed into recently.
Yep. Going for the Tigers, it's Chris Paddock, 3-9, 4.95 ERA for the veteran right-hander, just acquired from Minnesota. He is making his Tigers debut. He's lost his last 3 decisions. In 21 starts for the Twins this year, Minnesota went 5-16 in those games. Clear slate for him. He was really good in his last start, by the way. Last Wednesday, allowed 1 run on 4 hits in 6 innings versus the Dodgers, but the Twins lost that game 4-3.
Interesting kid. He's not gotten a lot of run support. He earned 3 earns. He's allowed 3 earned runs or less in 15 of his 21 starts with the Twins, and yet it is what it is.
Twins not what. Your lineup not helping your pitcher? Where have we heard
Where
this
have we
before?
seen that before?
Quickly to say how good Ryan Nelson has been since May, only 3 other pitchers have a better opponent's batting average, and that's Tarek Skubal, Paul Skeens, and Zach Wheeler. That's how good he's been.
Those guys are pretty good from what I've heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Time to take a look at today's injury report, brought to you by Barrow Neurological Institute. Learn more at barrowneuro.org. Of course, the headline, Eugenio Suarez back in the lineup today. You can't go over the injury report for the Diamondbacks this year without talking about 6 Tommy John surgeries. Justin Martinez, A.J. Puck, Blake Walston, Jordan Montgomery, Corbin Burns, Tommy Henry have all had the surgery this year, and they're not even the only pitchers on the injured list. Ryan Thompson still on the injured list. Shelby Miller, Jalen Beeks, Christian Mena, all still on the injured list, along with Christian Montes de Oca. For the Tigers, they're big. They've only had 2 Tommy John surgeries this year. They're really lagging behind, Vic.
Yeah.
Jackson Jobe, their young starting pitcher, had Tommy John surgery. He's out for the rest of the season. Jose Urquidy also had Tommy John surgery. They got good news on the injury front. Kerry Carpenter coming back from his injury and actually has contributed in this series. MLB standings brought to you by Liberty GMC. Nowhere can you buy a GMC for less. What if I told you, Dan Bickley, that going into today, the Milwaukee Brewers had the best record in Major League Baseball?
That's crazy.
At 64-43. There is not a single team in Major League Baseball right now, as we speak, that has a 600 winning percentage or higher. They're at 598.
And they've been red hot lately, and it's great to see Pat Murphy, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's giving the Cubs something to think about.
Waited a very, very long time to get that shot, and he's making the most of it.
He sure is.
The Detroit Tigers, the opponent today, they lead the American League Central by a comfortable margin, even though they've struggled as of late. 63-46, 9 games better than Cleveland, 9.5 games better than the Kansas City Royals. As far as the Diamondbacks, we know their place in the National League West, 51-57, fourth place in the division, 12 games behind the division-leading Dodgers, who are 63-45. And even though I don't want to mention it, we'll mention the wild card standings. Diamondbacks now 8 games out of the third wild card spot. San Diego currently has that distinction right now, joining the Cubs and Phillies as the National League wild cards. Finally, time to take a look at today's keys to the game.
Listen, man, I need you to be the key master. I am the key master.
Arizona Sports, the home of Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. D-backs keys to the game. Brought to you by G2G Protein Bars. Gluten-free, protein-packed, and ridiculously good. G2G Protein Bars are grab-and-go goodness.
What do you got for a key to the game today, Vic?
I would just say very simply, nobody get hurt, please. Nothing to interfere with what might be going on during the trade deadline or who might be leaving during the trade deadline. I could have gone baseball-centric and talked about how, as a leadoff hitter, Corbin Carroll has got a higher barrel percentage than Shohei Ohtani. All these great stats about how he might set marks and triples and set the table for the rest of his teammates. Look, this Diamondbacks offense is just... It's beyond
brutal.
Yeah, that's a good word.
8 straight games of 3 runs or less.
Yeah, and yesterday's was, in my mind, the worst. You get off to a great start, then you just go right back to sleep.
Yeah, for me, it's offensively related too, and I was going to be sarcastic and say just go out and have fun. But
make your manager proud.
Offensively, and I talked to you about this off the air, there's so much talk on the broadcast, and I think this is really a talking point from Torey Lovello, is about stringing together at-bats and forgetting about being selfish and individual. Sometimes you got to worry about the individual, and sometimes when the individual thrives, it becomes contagious, and we haven't seen that for so long. Just hit the ball.
Yeah, right.
The most basic key to the game ever.
See-ball, hit ball.
See-ball, hit ball.
Yeah.
Remove all the noise and maybe
all the hippy-dippy stuff.
Maybe turn this thing around. Final game before the trade deadline starts in just about a half an hour. You'll hear it here on Arizona Sports. That's going to do it for us today. Thanks to Brock Osweiler for joining us, as well as Alex Weiner. We are back tomorrow morning at 6. The D-backs BP show is next here on Arizona Sports.
You've been listening to D-backs on Deck. Brought to you by Sonic. Live free, eat Sonic. And by 72 Sold. 72 Sold. Get a higher price for your home.
The
Give-a-thon for Phoenix Children's is coming soon.
Phoenix Children's Hospital.
You can make a difference for Arizona kids when you listen beginning Monday, August 18th. The Give-a-thon for Phoenix Children's is presented by your Valley Hyundai dealers and Y-Refi.
At Sonic, we've unleashed the pickle with our Big Dill Meal, a Sonic smasher with Grillo's pickles and Dilly Ranch. Nice, you'd think, but there's more. It comes with pickle seasoned tots. You think, oh, we're pickling now. Thirsty? Good. Try the Pickle Rita Slush. You realize we've hit the edge of pickledom, but that Pickle Rita Slush is filled with pickle-flavored bubbles. Welcome to the deep pickleverse, friend. The Sonic and Grillo's Big Dill Meal. Live free, eat Sonic.
Limited time only at participating Sonic drive-ins.
If you have old windows, they are probably driving up your energy bills. Cool things down with energy-efficient windows from the Window Depot. The Window Depot provides unbeatable value and a wide variety of in-stock and custom-order windows to fit your style and budget. Choose from our SI window brand, made in the USA for quality you can trust, or custom order from top manufacturers for a perfect fit. Order online at thewindowdepot.com or visit a location near you. Experience the best prices, the biggest inventory, only at the Window Depot.
It's where every home run memory and walk-off victory is stored. Your brain shapes you, defines you, makes you you. But as any ball player knows, a brain or spine condition can change the game. That's why Barrow Neurological Institute is always swinging for the fences, pushing the boundaries of neuroscience medicine. Ranked top 10 in the U.S., Barrow helps patients hold on to their dreams, their memories, and themselves right here in Arizona. Barrow Neurological Institute, minding what matters most. Visit barrowneuro.org to learn more.
Ready! Hi, this is Chris with Ready Services, Air Conditioning and Plumbing. I've been with the company for going on 15 years. What you're going to get is not only get your problems fixed, but you're going to leave with peace of mind knowing that it's done right and done well by a qualified technician. Ready Services won't ever take advantage of any of our customers. Our goal is always to be the most accurate in diagnosing and providing top flight service for any service, air conditioning or plumbing.
ReadyServices.com. Ready.
As the old saying goes, size matters.
At Morgan & Morgan, we have over 1,000 lawyers and nearly 6,000 people on staff.
But at the core, this is and always has been a family business.
Our family watching out for your family.
Call us or email us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, even on a Saturday or a Sunday.
And if you ever have a problem, call our mom.
Morgan & Morgan.
For the people and your family. Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Arizona Sports on the Arizona Sports app and 98.7.
Oh, hey.
Hey, thanks for meeting me here. It's just, you're my only lawyer friend, and I need your professional opinion. Do you see that brand new Hyundai Tucson out there? That's all I paid for it.
Let me get back to you on that. Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. At the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days on all Hyundai Palisade, Santa Fe, and Santa Fe hybrid models. See your local Valley Hyundai dealer. Offers end July 31st. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
Hey, it's Mike Rohn. If I have a choice, I like to do business with companies that actually stand for something. That's why I switched from Verizon to Pure Talk. No offense to Verizon, I'm sure they stand for something. I just don't know what it is. Pure Talk, on the other hand, is a veteran-owned company that supports our military in a big way, and I appreciate that. Yeah, I also appreciate unlimited talk and text and plenty of data for half the cost of the big guys, and I do like being on America's most dependable 5G network for just $20 a month, but what I really appreciate is no contract, no cancellation fees, and Pure Talk's commitment to handle all their customer service in this country. I saw it for myself. I went to Georgia, I got a tour of their headquarters, I met their CEO, and I talked to the same customer service folks that you'll talk to when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Switch today and save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword micro. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
2-2, that's hit well. Deep to right field. Back to back go the Diamondbacks.
Arizona Diamondbacks Baseball, presented by Talking Stick Resort. Life well played. Avnet, your hometown partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. Fry's. Hey, D-backs fans, score big game day meals at Fry's with savings beyond low prices, including digital coupons worth over $600 each week. Fry's, fresh for everyone. The Diamondbacks Radio Network is brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, D-backs BP Show.
The Snakes are looking to salvage the series in the final game before the MLB trade deadline. Welcome to the D-Backs BP Show as the Arizona Diamondbacks take on the Detroit Tigers in the series finale at Comerica Park. My name is Steve Zinsmeister with our producer and engineer Leo Gilmartin, and our technical director is Parker Garash. Unfortunately, the D-backs' woes continued last night against the Tigers. 2 early runs made it seem like Arizona was busting out of their offensive slump, but those were their only 2 runs of the game, while Detroit scored a dozen unanswered, winning the game 12-2. The Tiger bullpen sat down the final 11 D-backs hitters to finish the game, so despite running their starting pitcher Casey Mize out of the game in just the second inning, the Snakes couldn't crack the pen, which tossed 7 1/3 scoreless innings. Brandon Pfaadt looked really good the first couple of innings, but then gave up 3 home runs in a 6-run 5th inning. His final line wasn't pretty, 7 runs allowed on 11 hits, so the D-backs have dropped 4 in a row, 7 of their last 8. They've scored just 4 runs in their 5 games on the road trip. On a positive note, Corbin Carroll hit his league-leading 14th triple to start the game. That ties his career high from last year and also ties the franchise record for the D-backs, set in 2000 by Tony Womack and then tied last year by Carroll. 1 more triple would make Carroll the first MLB player with 15 in a season since Eddie Rosario in 2015. And if he gets to 20 triples, he'd be the first to do it since 2007, when Jimmy Rollins and Curtis Granderson both did it. His 10 leadoff triples through 436 career games are the most by any player since 1901, and his 40 triples in his career are more than anyone else during that time. In fact, he has 9 more than the next guys, Jarren Duran and Bobby Witt Jr. Carroll is also the first player ever to reach 21 homers, 14 triples, and 13 stolen bases before the month of August, and he'll have a chance here today to add to those totals. Turning our attention to today's game, the D-backs will look to Ryan Nelson to get them out of this funk. He's been fantastic lately. He's 6-2 with a 3.29 ERA this season. He's given up 2 runs or less in 7 of his last 8 starts. And since the beginning of May, Nelly's 185 batting average against is 4th lowest in baseball, only behind Zach Wheeler, Tarek Skubal, and Paul Skeens. In fact, Baseball Savant rates his 4-seam fastball as the 4th best pitch in the entire sport right now. That's why he throws it 62% of the time. Opposing hitters, just 181 batting average against that pitch with incredibly low slugging numbers. It's also his primary put-away pitch as well. And I feel like maybe if he develops the curveball or slider into a chase pitch, he might be one of the tougher pitchers to figure out in the game. Not to mention, with things kind of up in the air with the MLB trade deadline, that comes tomorrow, his presence in the starting rotation is steadying because we don't know who might be coming or going in the next 24 hours or so. Chris Paddack will make his first start for the Tigers since being traded over from Minnesota on Monday. He's 3-9 with an ERA just under 5, but the Tigers did need somebody to replace Reese Olson, who was lost for the remainder of the season with a shoulder strain. Paddack has started against the Diamondbacks 9 times in his career, 3.22 ERA and 44 2/3 innings, but his last outing against Arizona came back in 2021, so it has been a while. He's coming off a quality start against the Dodgers a week ago in L.A. The biggest news in the D-backs starting lineup today, Eugenio Suarez is back after getting hit on the hand during Monday's game. Imaging showed no broken bones, so that's great news. And he will swing the bat today. I'm sure a lot of teams are interested in watching him, not just the Diamondbacks, as he will be the designated hitter today. With about a day left until that trade deadline, a lot of questions still remain about who might go, who might stay. When we come back from the break, we'll take a look at what has already happened on the trade market so far this week. The D-backs BP Show continues next on the Morgan & Morgan Diamondbacks Radio Network.
Celebrate Faith and Family Night at Chase Field on Friday, August 8th. Stick around for a free post-game concert with Torrin Wells, presented by Chick-fil-A. Visit dbacks.com/faith.
Experience a playcation in paradise. Talking Stick Resort in sunny Scottsdale offers you 4-star mountain views. Treat yourself to a relaxing spa, enjoy award-winning dining, and explore the hottest slots and table games. Plunge into our refreshing pools with private air-conditioned casitas. Plus, no resort fees for Arizona and our surrounding states. Treat yourself to the best in the Southwest. Book your stay and play Getaway today. Visit TalkingStickResort.com. Life well played.
Every day, helping, caring, supporting. Every day at APS, we're here to provide payment assistance programs to customers in need. We recognize how important it is to keep your bill as low as possible. Our energy support program offers eligible customers discounts of up to 25 or 60% every month. Pay down your bill with crisis bill assistance and other programs and resources. Learn how you can get help with your bill at aps.com/brighter.
Is your AC ready for summer? Emergency Air, proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks, truly cleans your system while the other guys just check a box. Their techs spend up to 2 hours deep cleaning, basically refurbishing your unit. They guarantee it won't break down this summer or the service is free. First-time customers get this service for just $39. Visit emergencyair.com to book with the trusted team that keeps the D-backs cool and knocks it out of the park.
Emergency Air. The difference is we care.
Here's another Whataburger DM. Miranda says, it's 2023 and still no Pico Burger. How do we get y'all to pick it back up? Miranda, we totally thought we responded to this. We know it's been a minute or two, but good news, the Pico de Gallo burger is back up. Yep, the 2 fresh beef patties covered with crisp Pico de Gallo, 2 slices of pepper jack and creamy cilantro lime sauce you love is back. And it's all thanks to you. The Pico de Gallo burger is back for a limited time. What a burger!
Honeywell Aerospace Technologies is proud to partner with the Arizona Diamondbacks to support STEM education in Arizona schools through the Future Shaper STEM Grants program. 10 schools will receive $5,000 each to fund STEM projects that inspire students and teachers. Are you looking for a rewarding career? Do you want to work for a company that is positively impacting the world through cutting-edge aerospace technology and community engagement? If so, Honeywell Aerospace Technologies is the place for you. Visit www.honeywell.com/careers to check out all of the career opportunities and learn how to become a Future Shaper. And go Diamondbacks!
Don't miss these late-season matchups when the Cleveland Guardians, Boston Red Sox, Philadelphia Phillies, and Los Angeles Dodgers visit Chase Field. Secure your tickets at dbacks.com.
Diamondbacks Radio Network. D-Backs BP Show.
The MLB trade deadline is tomorrow afternoon, 6 p.m. Eastern, which means 3 p.m. Arizona time. So a little less than 30 hours left for teams to make moves. I figured we'd take this opportunity to reflect on some of the trades that have already come down so far this week in preparation for what could be a busy day tomorrow, and maybe even today. We'll see. But trade deadline week really got underway when the Yankees acquired third baseman Ryan McMahon from the Colorado Rockies. The Yanks have gotten terrible production from the hot corner this year. They DFA'd DJ LeMahieu at one point, so they were looking to get a bat with some pop. Ryan McMahon's got some contractual length to him as well, some control, so a big addition there for the Yankees, who were in on Geno Suarez as well. We'll see if they still are. That same day, the D-backs pulled the trigger on the Josh Naylor trade, sending their first baseman to the Seattle Mariners on Thursday for 2 pitching prospects, including Brandon Garcia, who's already pitched for the D-backs twice out of the pen. Seems like maybe the Mariners might not be done adding just yet. Stay tuned on that. The Mets acquired lefty reliever Gregory Soto from the Orioles for a couple of arms. New York desperately needing a southpaw in the pen, and they were able to pluck one from Baltimore. On Saturday, the Snakes made another big move.